All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome and thank you for tuning in to the California Citizens Redistricting Commission Communities of Interest, or COI, input meeting. I'm Commissioner Vasquez, and I will be co-chairing today's meeting with Commissioner Trina Turner. Today, we are offering 2 language lines for Spanish and Punjabi language speakers to listen to the meeting in their native language. Could I please have each of our interpreters provide our call-in numbers, starting with Spanish? So Spanish listeners, please call 888-831-6084 and enter meeting ID 847-0665. Again, that number is 888-831-6084, and please enter meeting ID 847-0665 for Spanish listeners.
Buenas tardes a todos y bienvenidos a la reunión de aportaciones de interés de la comunidad de la Comisión de Redistribución de Ciudadanos Residentes. Para las personas que están escuchando en español, por favor marquen el número 888-831-6084 y presionen el número de identificación 847-0665 para ingresar a la reunión de modo de escuchar. De nuevo, el número es el 888-831-6084 y el número de identificación para la reunión es el 847-0665 para las personas que van a escuchar en español.
Thank you. And for Punjabi, for our Punjabi listeners, can you please call the number 888-323-9693 and enter meeting code 824-8860. Again, Punjabi listeners, please dial into 888-323-9693 and enter meeting code 824-8860. I heard the last interpreter. I'm not sure if...
Rama, are you there? Rama Kant or Navjeet, are you available for Punjabi interpretation, please? Oops.
पंजाबी बोलने वाले वास्ते टेलीफोन लाइन हैगी है 8883239693 ते मीटिंग कोड है 8248860.
Great. Thank you so much to our interpreters. All right. I think we are ready for roll call. Robbie,
Yes.
that's you.
Yes, Chair, thank you. Commissioner Yee,
Here.
Commissioner
Okay.
Ahmad,
Commissioner Akbar,
Continuous.
Commissioner Kutagawa,
Here.
Commissioner Anderson, Commissioner Fernandez,
Presente.
Commissioner Foranshari,
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Here.
Commissioner Lamons, Commissioner Sadwani, Commissioner Sanai,
Here.
Commissioner Taylor,
Present.
Commissioner Teledo,
Here.
Commissioner Turner,
Here.
and Commissioner Vasquez.
Here.
Roll call is complete, Chair.
Great. Thanks so much, Ravi. So I'm going to start today by sharing a little bit about the Commission. Every 10 years after the federal government publishes updated census information, California must redraw the boundaries of its congressional, state senate, state assembly, and state board of equalization districts so that the districts correctly reflect the state's population. In 2008, California voters authorized the creation of the Commission when they passed the Voters First Act. It authorized the Commission to draw the new district lines for state senate, state assembly, and state board of equalization districts. And then in 2010, the Congressional Voters First Act added the responsibility of drawing congressional districts to the Commission. The 14-member commission is made up of 5 Republicans, 5 Democrats, and 4 not affiliated with either of those 2 parties. The commission must draw the district lines in conformity with strict, nonpartisan rules designed to create districts of relatively equal population that will provide fair representation for all Californians. When we receive census data, the commission begins drawing maps using 6 line drawing criteria as outlined in the California Constitution. One of these is minimizing the division of counties, cities, neighborhoods, and communities of interest to the extent possible. We can obtain the city and county information from those jurisdictions, but we need the neighborhood and communities of interest information from Californians directly. That's why we have launched these community of interest input sessions to get the valuable information from you directly. We encourage all Californians to participate in this process. If you would rather submit COI input over the internet, you can do so from our website or by visiting drawmycacommunity.org. Skip the line, go online. Now I will call on all commissioners to introduce themselves and to say hello. To see the biographies for all 14 commissioners for additional information or to sign up for our emails, please visit our website at wedrawthelinesca.org. And please also follow the California Citizens Redistricting Commission on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube at We Draw the Line CA. There you will find a lot of useful information about redistricting and updates from the California Commission. And with that, I will begin with my co-chair, Commissioner Turner.
Thank you, Chair Vasquez. I am Trina Turner, and I am so excited for yet another exciting input session and would like to say welcome to Californians everywhere, but particularly for my people in the San Joaquin Central Valley. This is my home. I've been here now 26 years, and I serve from Bakersfield all the way through San Joaquin County and live in the amazing city of Stockton. So would like to say welcome, and I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you on today. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Ahmad. Commissioner Kutagawa.
Hi, California. It's so nice to be here again with you, and we're looking forward to seeing and hearing from all of you in the Central Valley, and really looking eagerly wanting to hear about your communities of interest. And so thanks for joining us.
Great, thank you. Do we have Commissioner Anderson?
Good afternoon, California, and particularly the wonderful San Joaquin Valley. My name is Jane Anderson. I'm coming to you from Berkeley, California, and I can't wait to hear about your communities of interest and what makes them the special place that they are to live in. Thank you.
Great. Commissioner Fernandez.
Buenas tardes, California, especialmente los que viven en los condados de Fresno, Kern, Kings, Madera, Merced, Tulare, San Joaquín y Stanislaus. Soy Elisa Fernández del condado de Yolo al norte. Ya sé que están interpretando lo que estoy diciendo, pero quiero asegurar que sigue que sigue usando el español. Bienvenidos y estoy ansiosa por escuchar acerca de sus comunidades. Good afternoon, California, especially those from Fresno, Kern, Kings, Madera, Merced, Tulare, San Joaquin, and Stanislaus. My name is Alisa Fernandez. I'm from the county up north in Yolo. And I did say my introduction in Spanish, and I know that I'm interpreting, but I also said I need to keep practicing my Spanish. So that's why I'm going to continue to do it. And I'm looking forward to, once again, hearing about your communities.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Fornashari.
Thank you, and I think I'll just practice in English this time. I'm Neil Fornashari. I'm coming to you from Tracy, California, just a little bit south of Commissioner Turner's location in Stockton, and we're both in San Joaquin County. Looking forward to hearing from the San Joaquin Valley and what is important to you with regard to your communities and redistricting. Thanks for joining us.
Great, Commissioner Kennedy.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm joining the meeting from my home in Valley, which is a rural Joshua Tree Gateway community along Highway 62 on the way to Joshua Tree National Park. Looking forward to hearing from everyone about their communities in the Central Valley and what makes your community special to you. Thank you so much.
Do we have Commissioner Lamons? Okay, and Commissioner Sadwani. All right, Commissioner Taylor, you're up. Or sorry, Commissioner Sinai.
No problema. Buenas tardes, californianos. Es un honor servirles desde San Diego. Soy Patricia Sinai. Good afternoon, Californians. It's an honor to serve you from San Diego. I'm Patricia Sinai.
Great, Commissioner Taylor.
Thank you, Commissioner Sinai. Thank you, Commissioner Vasquez. My name is Derek Taylor. I'm joining you from LA County. I'm looking forward to hearing about the San Joaquin Valley. I hope to be driving through very shortly with my oldest as we tour schools in and around the area. So I'm looking forward to hearing all that you have to say about your communities. Thank you.
Great, Commissioner Toledo.
Thank you, Chair. And good afternoon, California. Buenos dias. My name is Pedro Toledo, and I hail from Petaluma, California, up in Sonoma County in the heart of wine country. I'm looking forward to hearing all about your communities and spending this afternoon with you. Thank you.
Great, Commissioner Yee.
Thank you, Chair. I am Russell Yee, and I'm here in my hometown of Oakland. Looking forward to hearing from residents of San Joaquin County, which is really the heart of California. And just today I learned that there's a point in Madera County that actually is the geographical center of California. And I hope to visit that someday. Thank you.
Very good. And with that, I am Angela Vasquez, your chair for this first part of the afternoon session, coming to you today from Los Angeles, California.
California, though.
And just wanted to say that as always, I am very excited to hear from the Central Valley in particular. I recently learned that my father's family can trace their roots to the Central Valley to before the Mexican-American War. So I am truly a Californio at heart. So again, very excited to hear about your communities of interest today. Before we continue, could I please have each of our interpreters provide our call-in numbers one more time, starting with Spanish. And if the Spanish interpreter is ready, if Spanish listeners can please call 888-831-6084 and enter meeting ID 847-0665.
So this is the line that needs to be simultaneous interpretation on this one.
Para las personas que están escuchando en español, para ingresar, pueden oprimir o llamar al número 888-831 6084 e ingresar el número de identificación para la Junta, el 847-0665.
Thank you. And for Punjabi, can I have our Punjabi listeners please call 888-323-9693 and enter meeting code 8248860.
Navjeet, are you available to interpret in Punjabi, please?
Do the call-in information.
Okay.
पंजाबी बोलने वाला कॉलर है फिर किसी सामने कॉल करो
ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬੋਲਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਾਲ ਕਰ ਲਓ
पंजाबी वाले सामने कॉल करो जी
ਤੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੀ ਟੈਲੀਫੋਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਹੈ 888-323-9693 ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਕੋਡ ਹੈ 8248
Great, thank you. As a reminder, these numbers are for listening to the meeting only. If you will be providing public input and do not have an appointment, we will provide our speaker telephone number later, and it is available on the live stream page as well.
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਿਰਫ ਸੁਣਨ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਟੈਲੀਫੋਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ
All right, so this meeting is primarily for communities of interest testimony focused on Fresno, Kern, Kings, Madera, Merced, San Joaquin, Stanislaus, and Tulare counties and their surrounding areas. However, anyone in California can call in to provide input. General public comment will take place at the end of the meeting. Although the Commission has divided up California into 11 zones, that in no way is related to or reflective of redistricting lines or boundaries. The Commission created the zones to assist commissioners and staff in their outreach efforts only, not as an indication of planned boundaries. Today, we are joined by our line drawing team, Haystack DNA, and Q2 Data and Research, LLC, who will be displaying a map of the area that attendees describe. Please start with the area that you would like to discuss and be as specific as possible about the boundaries of where your community is located. It is our goal to find the area on the map you would like to discuss prior to your testimony. If you are within a specific neighborhood of a large city, please mention it by name. Once we are able to locate your area, your timer will begin. Attendees will not be able to share their screen. We are also joined by our interpreters and Katie, our comment moderator, who will be introducing attendees when it is their turn to speak. When you join the meeting, please use the raise the hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the queue. If you have registered for a time slot, we encourage you to call in during your appointment time slot. When it is your turn to speak, Katie, our comment moderator, will be identifying you by your assigned unique ID number. You will be reconnected to the session with the ability to enable your own video and/or audio. If you do not have an appointment and wish to call in to provide public input, that number is 877-853-5247. Again, the number to provide input is 877-853-5247. You will need to enter meeting ID 838-0213-9425. You will need to dial this new number in order to give public input. If you will be using an interpreter to provide input, there will be an interpreter for you at this speaker's call-in number. The comment moderator will assign you a speaker order number before you begin speaking, and please make note of this for future reference. You will be able to use this number to identify your COI testimony on our website at a future date. The Commission will be enforcing a 3-minute time limit for English speakers and 6-minute time limit for those with an interpreter. There will be a warning at 30 seconds and at 15 seconds remaining. At the beginning of your input, you will see a map on the screen. Please remind the mapper what area you would like to see on the screen, and as we said, be as specific as possible about the boundaries of where your community is located. Registration is not required to participate in this public meeting. The public has the option of calling in during this meeting to get into the queue to speak. The call-in information and access code is also listed on the live stream. If at the conclusion of the meeting, there is still a need to allow for members of the public in the queue to speak, we will continue this COI input meeting at a new date and time, and will attempt to schedule the remaining members of the public to speak for the allotted 3 minutes. Please monitor the website as we expect to post a continuation of this agenda within 48 hours. And with that, we will talk about the Communities of Interest tool. So while there are no clear rules on how to define a community of interest, we've identified ways for you to describe your community. Number 1, begin with your county or city. Number 2, mention the street names and significant locations in your neighborhood to help us identify the parameters of your community. Number 3, what are your shared interests? What brings you together? What is important about your community? Are there nearby areas you want to be in a district with? Are there nearby areas you do not want to be in a district with? Why or why not? Has your community come together to advocate for important services, better schools, roads, or health centers in your neighborhood? We also invite you to use the Community of Interest tool to draw a map and describe your community by visiting drawmycacommunity.org. This website has translation into 16 languages. Skip the line, go online, and submit your COI input today. We will now begin with the public input sessions, and I will pass this over to Katie, our comment moderator. We will start with people who are registered and then open the phone lines if there is time before the next session. If you are calling without an appointment, please do not hang up, and as you will lose your place in line.
Thank you so much, Chair. Good afternoon. Welcome to the public input session. Please use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the queue. When it is your turn to speak, you will be identified by your assigned unique ID number, which you were emailed yesterday. You will be reconnected to the session with the ability to enable your own video and/or audio. You will then be assigned a speaker order number. Before you begin speaking, please make a note of your speaker order number for future reference. If you are calling without an appointment, please do not hang up, as you will lose your place in line. If you will be using an interpreter, please identify the language you speak as soon as you are connected. The Commission will be enforcing a 3-minute time limit for English speakers and a 6-minute time limit for those with an interpreter. There will be a warning at 30 seconds and 15 seconds remaining. It is the Commission's goal to find the area on the map you would like to discuss prior to your testimony. If you are within a specific neighborhood of a large city, please mention it by name. Once we are able to locate your area, your 3 or 6-minute testimony will begin. Attendees will not be able to share their screen. If you will be using an interpreter, we will be in the consecutive mode. Please make sure to speak slowly and break up your testimony into 2 or 3 sentences at a time so that our interpreter can interpret your testimony. If you will be using an interpreter, please identify the language you speak as soon as you are connected so your interpreter can interpret the moderator's testimony or moderator's instructions. At this time, we will be going to 005, and up next will be 004. 005, I will be promoting you now. (005), your speaker order number is number 1, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Yes, I'd like to discuss Three Rivers and Visalia in Tulare County.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
I would, but now I've lost my document when you took over. My name is Maggie Bletcher, and I live in Three Rivers, California. I'm sorry about this. My name is Maggie Bletcher, and I live in Three Rivers, California, located at the southern entrance to Sequoia National Park in Tulare County. I'm here to advocate for the Three Rivers Visalia COI. The residents of Three Rivers have a long history and a mutually beneficial connection to Visalia and the neighboring valley communities along Highway 198. These communities include Woodlake, Lynn Cove, Ivanhoe, Exeter, and Farmersville. Geographically, the beautiful Kaweah River and Sequoia National Park are prominent in our community's lives as Three Rivers and Visalia consider themselves, quote, the gateway to the Sequoias, unquote. A majority of Three Rivers residents commute to Visalia and the other neighboring communities for employment. Our shopping is done in those communities, even groceries. Our children attend high school in Woodlake, and higher education is offered at the COS campus in Visalia, along with the Fresno State and Fresno Pacific satellite campuses. Kaweah Delta Hospital, Kaweah Health Network, Family Healthcare Network, and many private health providers, all located in Visalia, provide most of our health care. As Visalia is the county seat, all of our relevant county business is located in Visalia, including the Sheriff's Department, Planning Department, Assessor's Office, Courthouse, and Elections Office. The nearest Social Security office and DMV are located in Visalia. Cultural and enrichment opportunities such as the Sequoia Symphony, Fox Theater, Arts Visalia, and other local theater productions are enjoyed by many Three Rivers residents. Movie theaters, restaurants, outdoor events, and Visalia's minor league baseball games provide entertainment for those of us living in this area. And in the reverse, the Valley community residents frequent Three Rivers for recreation at Lake Kaweah, the Kaweah River itself, and surrounding foothills here in Three Rivers, and of course, Sequoia National Park. Hand in hand with our shared appreciation of the beauty of the Sierras is our shared stewardship of our environment and the very real and serious threats of fire, water availability, and air quality. Currently, we are located within Congressional District 23, which includes Bakersfield, Ridgecrest, and even Lancaster, located in northern LA County. We do not travel or have any connection to Bakersfield or any of those communities on a regular
30
basis.
seconds.
Bakersfield is 3 times further from us than Visalia. We even drive north to Fresno for air travel, larger entertainment productions, higher education, and shopping rather than Bakersfield. I grew up in the San Joaquin Valley and have been a resident of Three Rivers for 43 years. I cannot emphasize enough how much and how strong our daily lives are tied to this described Three Rivers Visalia community of interest. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 004, and up next we'll have 003. 004, I will be promoting you now. 004, your speaker order number will be number 2. If you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Yes, I'd like to discuss San Joaquin County.
Oh, have a good one.
Thank you.
When do
Go
I
ahead,
start?
please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to address your commission today. My name is Ken Vogel. I am Vice President of the San Joaquin County Farm Bureau, member of the San Joaquin County Board of Education, and retired San Joaquin County Supervisor. Today, I'm representing San Joaquin County Farm Bureau. I had the opportunity to speak before the previous commission 10 years ago when this process first occurred. We were pleased that San Joaquin County was included in the 5th State Senate District by that process and feel that this is a good model for the future. San Joaquin County's economy is an agricultural-based economy with almost $6 billion being contributed to our economy, not only through the production of crops, but also the processing, marketing, and transportation of these products. We also have major suppliers of farm-related products, fertilizers, and farm equipment located in our county, and all of these jobs created by this industry. With the 2 major transportation links of 2 interstate highways, an airport, and the Port of Stockton, our county is unique and is related to its economic and socioeconomic issues. Our county has also become one of the main state distribution centers for Amazon. Our county has a cultural and ethnic diversity that your commission looks at when structuring congressional and state districts. We believe that when the census data is released, we will have the population numbers to be represented by 1 congressional district, 1 state Senate district, and 2 assembly districts. Should other areas be considered, I want to point out the affinity our county has with the other counties in the Central Valley, that we have similar agricultural-based economies, have similar water needs, and are all in the same air quality control district. Thank you for your consideration and opportunity to speak.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 003, and up next will be 008. 003, I will be promoting you now. 003, your speaker order number is number 3. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. If you'll please, you can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours. Unique ID number 003.
Hi, I would like to speak regarding San Joaquin County. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Betty Wilson, and I am the Executive Director for the Business Council of San Joaquin County. I would like to speak today regarding San Joaquin County. Our county is a very culturally diverse community with a population of approximately 783,000 people. We are a major agricultural region, providing $5.732 billion in total economic contributions to the county and a bustling transportation center. We are also very different than most other communities as it relates to economic and socioeconomic issues. Over the years, San Joaquin County has developed the ability to work together to build a better future for all of our residents while understanding the needs of a multicultural community, with the data showing almost 41% of our citizens speak another language than English at home. We are asking that we are not split up. We believe once the census data is released, we will have the population numbers to have 1 senatorial seat, 1 congressional seat, and 2 assembly seats. This proposed model would support representation of equal population, cover the Voting Rights Act, show contiguity and respect geographical boundaries and nesting. Due to our unique issues, agricultural, water, air quality, transportation needs, health equity, education, and workforce development, the data supports unified representation to both state and federal government is well-deserved and much needed for the people of San Joaquin County to prosper and have a better tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have, excuse me. Right now we will have 008, and up next will be 010. 008, I will be promoting you now. .008, your speaker order number will be number 4, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hi, yes, my name is Florence Croson. I am from Merced County, and I will be talking about Merced County and Stanislaus counties. So I'm from Merced County, and I would ask you to keep Merced with other similar Central Valley counties. I am an IHSS home care provider. My work helps seniors and people with disabilities in my community to stay in their homes and avoid institutionalization. My work takes me up and down Highway 99 and I-5, making sure clients and patients that we care for are safe. I want to make sure our valley cities and communities are kept together as districts and not included with nearby foothills or mountain counties. Cities like Merced, Atwater, Livingston, Ceres, and even the more rural areas like Newman, Patterson, all share a common lifestyle and interests. Communities here in the valley are very different from communities in the foothills areas of Mariposa and Tuolumne counties. We have different economies and different daily experiences. Here in the valley, we have larger cities and are more focused on ag, water, housing issues, and healthcare access for those that need it. Here in Merced, we are particularly closely tied to Stanislaus County. The two are sister counties. The people of Merced and Stanislaus are connected by Highway 99, and we often travel across county lines for work, school, shopping, and to get our health care. Please remember these common bonds and draw the valley north and south, not east. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now will be 010, and up next will be 012. 010, I will be promoting you now. One more time. 010, it appears there may be some connectivity issues. I'm going to use the allow to talk option, which is audio only. Hi, 010, you are unmuted. Your speaker order number will be number 5, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Go ahead, the floor is yours.
I apologize. I'm having difficulties with my video, but my picture's there nonetheless. My name is Astrid Zuniga, and I am from the Stanislaus Modesto region.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm an IHSS provider who cares for my adult son with autism. My union, UDW, advocates for policies that protect my son's care and help him be safer in the community I currently serve as the Executive Secretary Treasurer of the Central Labor Council for Stanislaus and Tuolumne counties. And you may hear my son in the background, so I apologize. I can tell you firsthand that organizing working men and women is a different challenge in the Valley versus the Sierras and all across the state. It is through that experience that I am asking you to not draw Stanislaus and Tuolumne into the same districts. They are both great places to live, and respectively, I love going to Tuolumne, but they are also very different. Despite the rural reputation, the Valley has many growing communities. Modesto, where, as I said earlier, I live, has 200,000 people. That is about 4 times more that live in the entire county of Tuolumne. And we are very different demographically. While Stanislaus is nearly 50% Latino, Tuolumne is only about 10%. And we are very different demographically. If keeping Valley communities in the Valley means splitting a city or county, do so in a respectful manner. For example, South Modesto, where I do live, below Highway 132, is more diverse and more issues around healthcare access and old infrastructure than North Modesto, which is where new affluent neighborhoods are popping up. Please ensure the Valley and the Sierras each have their own separate representation, as well as many of the other communities on either east or west of the Central Valley. Thank you very much, and you all have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. Right now will be 012. I'd like to invite 009 to use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen. Perfect. So right now it'll be 012, and then up next will be 009. 012, I will be promoting you now. 012, your speaker order number will be number 6. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mappers know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is David Janis, and I am a 40-year resident of Ridgecrest in Kern County, and also the Executive Director of the China Lake Alliance. The area that I would like, your mapper is already way ahead of me. You've got the Kern County and all of the Kern County up, and that's what I wanted to talk about. So as I said, good afternoon. Ridgecrest is a remote and isolated rural community located on the eastern side of Kern County and adjacent to the China Lake Naval Air Weapons Station. The base contributes about 85% of the total economy here, and in the valley, that's about 38,000 residents. As a remote and isolated community, we are dependent on our close ties to public services, business, labor, healthcare, education, and public safety alliances with Kern County. The Naval Air Warfare Center at China Lake is part of an aerospace technology corridor focused on research, development, and testing, including Edwards Air Force Base, NASA Armstrong, the Air Force Research Laboratory, and Mojave Air and Spaceport. All these entities are participating in Kern County-wide initiatives to support and grow the aerospace sector in close coordination with the advancing renewable energy sector. The agriculture and oil industries in Kern County are under severe pressure, and the growing aerospace and renewable energy technology industries in the Indian Wells Valley, Ridgecrest, China Lake, Edwards, Mojave, and Tehachapi are imperative to the future economic viability of all of Kern County. Being located in a district where these industries have and will get coordinated priority in nurturing is critical not only to strengthening both local and regional economies, but also to developing and recruiting top talent to supply these industries. The two military bases, China Lake and Edwards, share a unique mission of research, development, and testing, and require unique knowledge and understanding of that mission in order to provide proper representation, especially at the federal level. The funding, infrastructure, and encroachment issues are different from the more usual military training and operational based missions. The two major earthquakes of July 2019, they were devastating, did over $4.1 billion damage to the base, but they vividly demonstrated the interdependence we share across Kern County and the critical importance and advantage in aligned federal, state, and local representation for disaster recovery resources in remote areas. It is vitally important that Ridgecrest remain within Kern County, state, federal, and district lines, state and federal district lines during this time of rebuilding at China Lake from the damage done. Changing representation now could lead to unintended delays and consequences during the next 5 years of
15
rebuilding at China Lake. Thank you for the opportunity to comment. We certainly understand and appreciate the difficult task you commissioners have before you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great. Really quick, just a friendly reminder to our community members to please speak slowly during your testimony, especially if you are reading, in order to help our interpreters interpret what you are saying. Thanks so much.
Right now will be 009. I will be promoting you now. (009), your speaker order number will be number 7. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours. Hello? Can you hear me? You are unmuted.
Hello?
Hi, the floor is yours.
Oh, hello. My name is Betty Avalos, and the area map I need includes Visalia, Three Rivers, and Sequoia National Park.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I've lived in Three Rivers for 11 years, and Three Rivers should be a community of interest with its closest major city, Visalia, and with smaller cities along the 198 corridor. This is where our residents travel to work, shop, and conduct business. Our children go to high school in Woodlake, and many continue their education at College of the Sequoias in Visalia. Most residents receive their medical care in Visalia, and Kauai Health is our closest hospital. Three Rivers property owners pay their taxes to Tulare County. A variety of county services must be accessed in Visalia and the city of Tulare. The closest DMV and Social Security offices are in Visalia. Our cultural and recreational activities frequently take place in Visalia, Sequoia National Park, and Lake Kauai. Congressional District 23 headquarters are in Bakersfield, which is 1.5 hours away. This is a hardship for our constituents to travel there. Visalia is a 30 to 40-minute drive. Three Rivers has a strong connection to Visalia and the surrounding communities, and minimal connections to Bakersfield, Lancaster, Ridgecrest, and the smaller cities in Kern and Los Angeles counties. It makes complete sense for us to be part of a Three Rivers Visalia community of interest. Thank you very much for your consideration.
Thank you so much. I would like to invite unique ID code 011 to use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen if you are ready to give comment as you have an appointment during this session. That is for unique ID code 011. If you'll please use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen, indicating you wish to give comment at this time. Unique ID code 011. Hi, are you ready to give comment at this time? Hello, can you hear me? You are unmuted. Oh. They go away? Oh, they went away. Okay, one moment. At this time, we do not have any other appointments in the queue. So I believe at this time, I will be reading the call-in instructions, and I believe those will also be interpreted as well, if I'm not mistaken. To call in, dial the telephone number provided on the live stream feed. It is 877-853-5247. When prompted, enter the meeting ID number provided on the live stream feed. It is 838-0213-9425. For this meeting. When prompted to enter a participant ID, simply press the pound key. Once you are dialed in, you will be placed in a queue. To indicate you wish to give comment, please press *9. This will raise your hand for the moderator. When it is your turn to speak, you will hear a message that says the host would like you to talk and to press *6 to speak. If you would like to give your name, please state and spell it for the record. You are not required to give your name to give public comment. That's the end of the instructions that I have at this time. For those that have called in, please press *9 to raise your hand indicating you wish to give comment. We will start with caller 5517. And up next will be caller 5833. Caller 5517, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 5517, you are unmuted.
Yes, thank you. My name is Hernan Hernandez,
one moment.
Executive Director.
Oh, one moment. I have a couple of brief instructions. If your speaker order number will be number 8, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Okay, perfect. I would like to discuss the Central Valley, Kern County, Tulare County, Fresno, and Madera County.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Yes, my name is Hernan Hernandez, Executive Director with the California Farm Worker Foundation, a 501c3 data-driven organization based out of Delano, California, that works for the betterment of farm workers, working with the agriculture industry in order to provide better jobs and better quality of life for farm workers. I think it's crucially important to keep some of the communities in which we serve, rural Latino communities like Arvin, like Rich Grove, Arlier, Kerman, together, because it's important that these are the communities, when we look at data, when we look at education attainment rates, when we look at health disparities, that require the most attention. So from my comment is that we got to keep these communities together. We got to find a way where they can have somebody that would advocate for them. And after looking at this pandemic and how it affected some of these communities in which we serve, just to give you a bring, the Central Valley during a time when other areas like the Bay or LA were getting 0.34% vaccination rates, we were getting 0.17. When we look at data of some of these rural communities, when it comes to vaccination administration rate, or when it comes to even access to healthcare, we know that we're falling behind and we know that we're lacking. So I think it's crucially important for these communities to have a voice, for them to be together, so that hopefully we can continue working for the betterment of these communities and we can improve the quality of life for them and the next generations that come. Thank you for your time.
Caller, if you could hold just a moment. If we could ask you either for a list of the communities you are referencing that you'd like to be kept together. Do you have a list, or can you name the communities you want to make sure are together?
Yes, you know, I think about Senate 14 and maybe like a good representation example of how some of these rural communities are kept together. So you look at Arvin, you look at Delano, you look at Rich Grove, you look at Parlier. These are all rural communities that are in one district. So I think that's a good representation of what might look for in the future with all these communities band together.
Great, thank you so much. And if in the future you would like to be more specific, you're always welcome to email us a map using the Draw My CA community mapping tool. Thanks so much.
Right now we will have caller 5833, and up next will be caller 1658. Caller 5833, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 5833, your speaker order number is number 9. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hi, yes, my name is Joel Campos. I live in North Modesto. Cross streets are Prescott Road and Standiford Road. And I'm actually going to be speaking on Stanislaus County and predominantly San Joaquin County in northern San Joaquin Valley. I work as a regional transportation planner in San Joaquin County, although I live in Stanislaus, so I'm very familiar with both counties. One thing I'd like to say is currently Stanislaus County, the whole county is within Congressional District 10. And I believe that my community wants to keep Congressional District 10 or all of Stanislaus County within Congressional District 10. Also, portions of San Joaquin County lie within Congressional District 10. Communities of Ripon, Escalon, and Manteca. Those communities, although they are across the Stanislaus River, they are culturally, economically are really tied to the city of Modesto. I'll give you an example. The city of Escalon, they have one fixed bus route, and that is the Escalon E-Trans. However, that bus agency contracts with the city of Modesto to have that one route. So from Escalon to North Modesto where the mall is. Escalon, although it's in San Joaquin County and the county seat is Stockton, their bus route goes to Modesto in Stanislaus County. Same thing with Ripon. They only have one bus route. It's a fixed route. They're choosing to spend their money on their bus route for their city and have it travel to Modesto. That same area, Modesto, has the mall and has the Kaiser Hospital. Well, a lot of people from Manteca, Ripon, and Escalon, they all travel to the Kaiser Hospital, Modesto, and the Vintage Fair Mall. And so, and also the irrigation district, Modesto Irrigation, Oakdale Irrigation District, and South San Joaquin Irrigation District, they all share the Stanislaus River when it comes to the water flows and distributing the water within our area. So I strongly think it's really important to keep those communities, Ripon, Escalon, and Manteca, within District 10, within the rest of Stanislaus County. However, contrary to what other people were saying about San Joaquin County, I don't believe, or a lot of folks that I speak to don't believe it should remain split and it should not be whole. And why do I say that? Is because San Joaquin is very diverse. San Joaquin County is to the east of the Bay Area and south of Sacramento, and it plays a very crucial role when it comes to those mega regions. A perfect example is the city of Tracy. It's currently in District 10 with the rest of Stanislaus County. However, Tracy's blowing up population-wise, and all people commute to the Bay Area. They don't farm. They're not agriculture. It's a Bay Area suburb now. They even say the Bay Area's newest suburb is the Tracy Hills community. So I don't believe Tracy should be with Stanislaus County in District 10. More so, we should.
Time.
Right now will be caller 1658, and up next will be caller 3489. Caller 1658, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. 41658. Your speaker order number is number 10. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Randy Vegas. I'm a professor of political science and a PhD candidate at UC Santa Cruz. I would like to discuss the neighboring counties of Kern County and Tulare County. I recently moved to Visalia, but I've lived in South Kern for most of my life, and therefore I want to speak to some of those communities of interest. Is it okay if I begin?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you. So broadly speaking, I'm very happy to see that we have several Central Valley commissioners on this commission because I want to emphasize that, these communities are home to various immigrant communities, including a large Hmong community in Fresno and Merced, a large Filipino community in Delano, a large Punjabi community throughout Kern and the region more broadly. But historically speaking, we've also seen these communities historically redlined and segregated through both formal and informal practices. And so often our shared interests come together around having the necessary resources and spaces to survive and thrive within the Central Valley. And therefore, I would like the commission to really take a look at the district boundaries for Congressional District 21, as well as Assembly District 32 and Senate District 14, particularly because communities like South Kern, when we look at areas around Hosking, Rexland Acres, they've come together to advocate for important issues such as improving schools for youth of color who've been disproportionately suspended and expelled, advocated for roads and sidewalks in areas like Rexland Acres, and for access to community health centers all throughout the valley. And so I do think it is important to maintain certain rural communities like Arvin, Lamont, East Bakersfield, South Bakersfield within these congressional districts, such as Congressional District 21 and Assembly District 32, but to also incorporate neighboring communities that are alike in size, population, and demographics, such as Porterville in Tulare County and Visalia in Tulare County. So when we take a look at the currently 21st District as it stands, California's 32nd Assembly District and the 14th Senate District, they all fall under similar areas. But I mean, when we look at the 21st, we see that the district stretches as all the way far down as Eastern Bakersfield to as all the way far north and as far west as Firebaugh and Mendota County, around 150 miles away. And so rather than this sort of historical cracking of communities along Highway 99, I highly encourage the commission to look at how the 21st District, Congressional District, the 32nd Assembly District, and the 14th Senate District might do a better job of incorporating and representing communities who share culture, services, and communities on both sides of that 99 freeway. Particularly when we look at cities like Visalia, Porterville, Woodlake, and some of these neighboring areas between Kern and Tulare counties, because it is increasingly difficult for both constituents and residents to have consistent access to their state and federal legislators, as well as constituent services when they need those services.
30 seconds.
And so therefore, I highly encourage the further incorporation of Visalia and neighboring Tulare County cities incorporated as part of the 21st Congressional District, 32nd Assembly District, and the 14th State Senate District. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. I would like to invite or ask for, never mind, I will just be doing this in English. For those that have not called in, please call 877-853-5247 and enter the meeting ID number 838-0213-9425 for this meeting. And once you have dialed in, please press star 9 to raise your hand indicating you wish to comment. Right now we have caller 3489, and up next will be caller 1447. Caller 3489, if you'll please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 3489, you are unmuted. Your speaker order number will be number 11. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Commissioners. The specific area I would like to discuss is current Congressional District number 10, which is the northern part of Stanislaus County and the southern part of San Joaquin County. I'm sorry, my name is Fred Cruz from the city of Modesto. I've been a resident in the Modesto area since 1981. Just a couple of general, and I'm basically just making comments as a private citizen. I'm not representing any organization or group. Just as a little background, I did do some volunteer work for the city of Modesto as a planning commissioner for about 8.5 years. So from a planning perspective, my general comments basically relate to keeping the Central Valley representation within the Central Valley and not including whether it's part of Stanislaus County and or San Joaquin County with the neighboring foothill counties of Tuolumne and Calaveras counties. I think the economics of the Central Valley are unique and basically are somewhat different than those in the foothills, and certainly most different than the coastal areas of the Bay Area and Santa Clara County. Those are basically my comments. I think from a redistricting standpoint, I think it's important to keep the Central Valley as representative of Central Valley areas and or counties. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate your listening to my comments.
Thank you so much. Right now we have caller 1447, and up next will be caller 5524. Caller 1447, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 1447, your speaker order number is number 12, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Yes, I'd like to discuss Fresno County. Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Don Watnick. I am a resident of Clovis, and I wanted to join this call today to give my perspective on the community my family and I live in and what makes it special and worthy of continuing to be its own district. Our community in North Fresno, usually defined as north of Bullard, and the city of Clovis share school districts, sports leagues, proximity to the same shopping, transportation corridors, service clubs, and places of worship. As a community, we share water districts, the Clovis Veterans Memorial District, of which I am a board member. We share public safety protection and amenities that do not exist in other parts of Fresno or in other cities throughout the county. Our community of North Fresno and Clovis have traditionally been a part of the same legislative and congressional districts because of the similarity and unique features that differentiate us from other parts of more urban, central, and southern Fresno, or ag-based smaller communities in rural Fresno County. North Fresno and Clovis continue to grow in population and in the unique features that have made us our own district in the past. Our representatives and this commission have traditionally respected and taken into consideration the characteristics that make North Fresno and Clovis one community. I continue to ask for that same position going forward. North Fresno and Clovis are best represented as a district in our legislature and in Congress, the same way that Central and South Fresno and the outlying cities in our county are best represented in their own. And thank you very much, Commissioners. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Right now we have caller 5524. Up next will be caller 2770. Caller 5524, if you'll please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 5524, your speaker order number will be number 13, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
I would like to discuss the city of Fresno, particularly the portion of it south of Shaw. I submit that this area should not be divided up, but kept in a district because of common interests. The area south of Shaw tends to access shopping and other amenities in that area, and the area north of Shaw also accessing shopping in their area. And these areas are different in their emphases in terms of voting and interests. The area north of Shaw tends to be interested in lower taxes and fewer regulations, whereas the area south of Shaw would be more interested in clean air and well-funded programs and a government that works for them. So, did I give my name? I'm Ronald Martin, RONALD MARTIN. I'm a member of the Sierra Club and Fresno First Baptist Church. Thank you for taking my comment.
Thank you so much. I would like to invite those that have called in to please press star 9 to raise your hand indicating you wish to give comment at this time. Right now we have caller 2770, and then up next will be caller 7773. And I do see those hands. Thank you. I'll be coming up. Caller 2770, if you'll please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 2770, your speaker order number will be number 14, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Commissioners. My name is Carmela Sanchez, and I am a resident of Calaveras County. That's in District 4 of the Congressional District. I just wanted to call in today and make my public comment about keeping the districting the same. Our rural communities, are similar in demographics and populations. We share the same common interests. Many of us in Calaveras County actually cross over to Tuolumne County to do our shopping and to have access to an additional hospital. We are so much different than what you would consider, the industry and the populations of the Valley floor. Valley is primarily focused on ag, and although we do have some ag in our community, our primary industry is tourism. We have, a range from second homes to forested, wooded areas, to where our concern, especially this time of year, is fire, and the Valley's concern is water. I think that we should keep our districts close as far as keeping them together with, similar type of communities like Tuolumne and Amador and those areas. And I would say that I would like to see them kept together so that we have a collective voice on similar issues in our communities. Thank you very much for taking my comment.
Thank you so much. Right now we have caller 7773, and up next will be caller 5228. Caller 7773, please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 7773, your speaker order number will be number 15, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours. Hello.
Hello, this is Imelda.
Go ahead.
Hello, this is Imelda Ceja Beckwith, Bakersfield, Kern County. And I serve as president of the Kern Inyo Mono Central Labor Council, and I also serve on the Board of Registered Nursing for the state of California. Our labor council represents thousands of working people in Kern County. Even though we represent Inyo and Mono, a large majority of our members are in Kern. Just this past Saturday, I gave public input for the Kern County Board of Supervisors redistricting. And because this process is so important to me, I want to give state redistricting input today. I am advocating to keep the communities of Delano, McFarland, Wasco, Shafter, Arvin, Lamont, and Eastside Bakersfield together because they are all a community of interest. The pandemic has highlighted how reliant our community is on essential workers. The pandemic also highlighted inequities in our communities that were always there, but now are undeniable. The communities I mentioned were hit hard by COVID with higher rates of infection because these are communities where many low-income and essential workers live, like farm workers, grocery workers, and other service providers. We did not see these issues as much in the West, Bakersfield, Tehachapi, or Ridgecrest. The Central Labor Council worked with many local partners and elected officials to increase COVID testing and now to provide vaccinations specifically for those communities and neighborhoods. In addition to being disproportionately impacted by COVID, these communities also face hardship around water and air pollution, lack of housing opportunities, older roads and sidewalks, and a need for better internet. It is very important to keep Delano, McFarland, Wasco, Shafter, Arvin, Lamont, and East Bakersfield together. Together, they are a community of interest. As we all begin to turn towards recovery post-pandemic, these communities will have a stronger collective voice together when advocating for resources and funding in Sacramento and DC. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have caller 5228, and up next will be caller 0617. Caller 5228, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 5228, your speaker order number will be number 16 if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hello, I'm calling about Kings County. My name is Claire Fidiassi. I live in Hanford in the northern part of Kings County. I am in Assembly District 32, State Senate District 14, and Congressional District 21. I generally feel that my state and congressional representation works well for me. And like everyone else, I would like my districts to stay the same. But I understand that it will be necessary to split some cities and counties to be able to respect and protect some communities of interest. I live in Hanford, so in the top quarter of Kings County. A general community of interest is the bottom 3/4 of Kings County that include the cities of Guernsey, Stratford, Corcoran, Kettleman City, and Avenal. These communities generally are have a high percentage of Latino residents. There are a lot of agricultural workers, and they generally do not have the representation through city, county, and state government that I think they deserve. So even though I live in the top part of Kings County, this area that I live is more affluent than the bottom 3/4. So northern Lemoore, Hanford, and then moving east even into Tulare County is a community of interest. Most of the folks in this area can, afford to put water purifiers in their homes. In the bottom portions of Kings County, people can't drink the water. I mean, all of us have trouble breathing the air, but we need to protect those citizens that aren't affluent enough to buy bottled water or install systems to clean the water that they have in their homes. So as much as I would love to keep my districts exactly as they are, I understand that it is necessary to create equitable districts, and some cities and counties are going to be divided. And I appreciate the challenge that this commission has to try to figure out how to make that happen. Thank you.
Caller, if I could have you pause, have a question for you if you're there.
Caller 5228, the chair had some additional questions for you, please.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Could you provide a bit more detail about how far into Tulare County you are talking about?
So I think northern Lemoore, Hanford, and then as it travels east over to Visalia and communities going east, even including Exeter. I mean, I'm not a redistricting person. I just know that those are more similar communities to, say, northern Lemoore, northern Hanford, as we move east on the map.
Perfect, thank you. That's what we needed.
Thank you.
Right now we will have caller 0617, and up next will be caller 4290. Caller 0617, if you could please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 0617, your speaker order number will be number 17, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you for taking my call. My name is Terry Diaz, and I'm from Clovis. And so the Clovis, North Fresno area is what I would be speaking about. I feel that we're well represented by those individuals that represent us, and I would prefer to keep it as it is. And I thank you for taking my call and giving us the opportunity to make a comment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we have caller 4290, and up next will be caller 7770. Caller 4290, if you'll please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 4290, you are unmuted. Your speaker order number will be number 18, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. I would like to discuss Congressional District 21, Kings County, and then the city of Hanford. Those three areas which are all part of Congressional District 21. My name is Jacqueline Lowe. I'm 77 years of age. My family has lived in Hanford since 1880. So I have a pretty long perspective on this district. I think the first thing I want to advocate for very strongly is keeping District 21 intact. It has worked very well. And I have a perspective on this. I remember when one side of the aisle dominated and then another side of the aisle dominated. And when the last district lines were drawn, both parties have had a chance to elect officials, and the records will show that. So if having districts be fair and balanced is important, then I think keeping this district as it's presently composed is very important. Secondly, I'm going to advocate very strongly to keep the city of Hanford together. It is the hub of Kings County. All of the surrounding communities, Corcoran, Avenel, Lemoore, Kettleman City, they all look to Hanford as being the hub, and we have a common interest in agriculture. And those of us that live in the slightly rural areas also look to Hanford as being the hub of interest. I think that I would also like to make the point that I've seen a lot of change in Kings County, and specifically in Hanford. I've seen a growth in a diverse population, and to me, that is a plus for a community. It adds diversity in thought for education. It adds diversity in thought for culture and for political thinking. And I think if you split that city of Hanford or you split the district in another way, that is going to diminish the real strengths that bring this agricultural community together. I do not see that we have common interests in the cities to the east of us, east of 99, nor to the far north part or the east part of Fresno County. So again, I would say I strongly advocate for, first of all, District 21 to remain intact and not to split the city of Hanford and keep Kings County together as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We do have time for one more comment at this time before break. I would like to invite those that have called in to please stay on the line, as we will be going to a 15-minute break after this next caller. Please do not hang up, as we will be coming back. And at this time, we have caller 7770. If you'll please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 7770, if you will please press star 6 and unmute at this time. Well, and now at this time, we are now within the window of not having enough time to take a comment prior to break. It appears that we are not getting them unmuted. One more try. Caller 7770, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute by pressing star 6. Yes, at this time oh, there you are. You are unmuted. Your speaker order number will be number 19. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
I sure can. Your speaker order number is number 19. If you'll please make note of that, the floor is yours.
19-0. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tammy Tyler, and I represent California City and Kern County. The significant locations that I'm aware that we actually deal with coming from African American community is Ballistic Park, Walpole Avenue, the Cactus Shopping Plaza, 72 Boulevard, Isabella Boulevard. Our community is primarily consists of about 39% African Americans. And our issue or concerns with our community is underrepresentation. Being that our community is underrepresented, we don't have any local government agencies that represent us. And when I speak about local agencies that represent us, I speak about education and also local law enforcement. With our education, with us having 39% of African American students enrolled, we have 37% of them failing. Also, with that failing with the Mojave Unified School District, we would like to see equitable maps and opportunities. The cities that we would like to see redistricting together, we believe that would help us, will be Cal City, Mojave, Lancaster, and Rosamond, because we have a high demographic of African Americans in those cities that represent us, and believe if we redistrict and come together as that, we will have better opportunities for equality education and stop funding on our local city. Our local government is funding right now privately the California City Police Department. We do not want to correlate ourselves, redistrict ourselves with Tehachapi, for Tehachapi has no interest in our community, and also surrounding areas around us. For instance, what is that city? Sorry. Some areas around California City that do not have any interest within our community. And it's important to us as well because we can stop having external involvement with the Attorney General's office because the local government is not doing what they have to do to ensure that we are represented. And that is all I have to say. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone. Actually, do we still have our caller? Did our previous caller jump off?
One moment, Jen.
Just a moment.
Yes, I'm still here.
Great, thank you so much. Would you include Edwards Air Force Base in your community of interest, or do you consider that not in your community of interest?
They are not in our community of interest.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, we are going to head into a 15-minute break. Before we head to our break, I would just like to say if you have called in, please do not hang up. You will lose your place in line if you do hang up. So we're heading into a break. Please wait and do not hang up. With that, thanks so much and see everybody in 15 minutes. Great. Welcome back to the California Citizens Redistricting Commission, COI, or Community of Interest Input Meeting. We also encourage you to visit the Communities of Interest tool to draw a map and describe your community by visiting drawmycacommunity.org. Before we move on, if I could ask our interpreters to read the call-in instructions, starting with Spanish. So I will give our Spanish interpreter a moment to read the call-in instructions. Sorry, it's reading the site translation of the full call-in instructions.
Vamos a dar las instrucciones para los hispanohablantes para poder llamar. Para aquellas personas que gustan llamar e ingresar a la Junta, el número es el 888-831-6084 y por favor ingresen el número de identificación de la Junta que es el 847-0665. De nuevo, el número de teléfono para marcar es el 888-831-6084. Y por favor ingresen el número de identificación de la reunión, el 847-0665 para los hispanohablantes. Si usted está llamando para hablar, por favor no cuelgue, si no va a perder su lugar en la fila. Si usted gusta llamar para dar sus comentarios públicos, el número es el 877-853-5247. De nuevo, el número para proveer sus comentarios es el 877-853-5247. Usted va a necesitar ingresar el número 838-0213-9425. Usted va a necesitar marcar este número nuevo para poder dar sus aportaciones públicas. Si usted va a usar a un intérprete para dar sus comentarios, habrá un intérprete disponible cuando usted llame a ese número. Gracias.
Great, thank you. Now, can I ask for our Punjabi interpreter to please read the site translation of full call-in instructions? Is our Punjabi interpreter available?
Ramakant or Navjeet, are you available for Punjabi interpretation at this time, please?
And I do not have those instructions on my screen, sir. And I asked, can you send me the instructions, please?
Yes, stand
Yes,
by,
we
please.
will get you those.
Rama, it's in your Zoom chat, if you can read it from the Zoom chat.
Rama, did you get those instructions in your Zoom chat?
No, ma'am, I don't have those in my Zoom chat.
Got it. Okay. I will read the instructions for you, and if you could do live translation.
Sure.
Great. All right. Our Punjabi listeners can please call 888
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ
32
ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਲਿਸਨਰਸ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਕਾਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ 888
323
323
9693
9693 ਤੇ
and enter meeting code 82488
ਇੰਟਰ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਕੋਡ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ 828 60.
Again, Punjabi listeners, please dial 888
Go ahead, ma'am.
Again,
888
323
323
9693
9693
and enter meeting code 824
ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੰਟਰ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਕੋਡ ਹੈਗਾ 824
8860.
8860 ਹੈਗਾ.
This number is for listening to the meeting only.
ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨੰਬਰ ਹੈ ਸਿਰਫ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਨੂੰ ਲਿਸਨ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸੁਣਨ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਹੈਗਾ.
If you will be providing public input
ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਦੇਣੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ
and do not have an appointment,
ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਅਪਾਇੰਟਮੈਂਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀ ਹੈਗੀ,
we will provide our speaker telephone number
ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਸਪੀਕਰ ਟੈਲੀਫੋਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਮੁਹੱਈਆ ਕਰਵਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ
later, and it is available
ਤੇ ਉਪਲਬਧ ਹੈਗਾ
on the live stream page.
ਤੇ ਲਾਈਵ ਸਕਰੀਨ ਪੇਜ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ.
Great. Thank you to our interpreters.
ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦੁਆਸ਼ੇ ਦੇ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਜੀ.
All right. And with that, I will be handing it over to Katie, our marvelous comment moderator, to continue with public input. We will start with people who are registered and then open the phone lines if there is time before the next session.
Thank you, Chair. Welcome to the public input session. Please use the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the queue. When it is your turn to speak, you will be identified by your assigned unique ID number. which you were emailed yesterday. You will be reconnected to the session with the ability to enable your own video and/or audio. You will then be assigned a speaker order number before you begin speaking. Please make a note of your speaker order number for future reference. If you will be using an interpreter, it will be in the consecutive mode. Please make sure to speak slowly and break up your testimony into 2 or 3 sentences at a time so our interpreter can interpret your testimony. If you will be using an interpreter, please identify the language you speak as soon as you are connected so your interpreter can interpret the moderator's instructions. All right. At this time, we will have 014, and up next will be 015. 014, I will be promoting you now. 014, your speaker order number is number 20. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss. Oh, you can also enable your own video and audio in the lower left corner of your screen. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hi, yes, I'd like to discuss the Three Rivers Visalia community of interest that's being proposed. And this community of interest consists of Three Rivers, Sequoia National Park, Wood Lake, Lemon Cove, Lynn Cove, Exeter, Farmersville, Ivanhoe, and the largest city is Visalia. And these communities have many shared interests. A prominent one is that we are all within the same watershed, the Kauai River, which originates in Sequoia National Park. The snowpack, the rivers and streams from the park provide a good portion of the water that supplies foothill and valley communities, agriculture, and associated businesses. With recent drought patterns, we will all need to work together to protect and manage our shared water resources, and having sort of this shared community of interest could facilitate those needs. Sequoia National Park attracts tourists from all over the world. Visalia and other valley communities, as well as my community of Three Rivers, play an important role serving tourists in our restaurants, grocery stores, motels, and other businesses. And Sequoia National Park and Visalia have a partnership providing shuttle bus transportation to tourists to and from Visalia and into various locations in the park. And many residents from local communities also visit Three Rivers and the park frequently to enjoy outdoor activities like swimming, boating, fishing, camping, hiking. Residents in Three Rivers also travel down to Visalia and other local communities for grocery shopping, dining, and enjoying entertainment opportunities. So as Three Rivers is also in Tulare County, all of our relevant county business is located in Visalia, and Three Rivers is reliant on Visalia and other communities for specialized medical care and emergency services. The students who attend our K-8 school in Three Rivers go on to attend high school in Wood Lake, and many also start or complete college at College of the Sequoias in Visalia. So our community shares many interests with those in the valley, and we are very connected to the environment around us, whether it's through outdoor recreation, public land enjoyment, or agriculture. But we're currently in, Three Rivers is currently in the District 223, which includes Bakersfield, Ridgecrest, and Lancaster. And that's 3 times further for us to drive than Visalia to get to access our congressional representative. There's also no public transportation from our community to Bakersfield, and there is to Visalia. So the connection between the valley and all of the valley communities
30 seconds.
is longstanding and significant in our daily lives and mutually beneficial. So I feel that the Three Rivers Visalia community of interest should be included and represented in our next congressional district. It would really help us strengthen our communication with our officials and with each other. Thank you.
If I could have our caller Could you let us know if Patterson Tract and Goshen, are they part of your community interest or not?
They are just, so I know Goshen is just west of, sort of a little northwest of Visalia, so it could certainly be, yes, it is, you're right. I think it is, it's sort of a different color on that map you've just put up. Goshen is for some reason, but it could certainly be included. And Patterson Tract, yeah, I wasn't familiar with that, but yes. I didn't name those, but they could be included for sure.
Great, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now will be 015, and up next will be 018. And I'd also like to ask Margarita if she could please interpret the instructions for 013 to raise their hand at this time.
Para poder alzar la mano, las instrucciones son que hay un botón en la parte inferior de la pantalla para alzar la mano para indicar que usted desea dar su comentario. Por favor, use la función de alzar la mano en la parte inferior de la pantalla para indicar que gusta dar comentario. Gracias.
Perfect. Margarita, can you let them know that I do see their hand and that they will be coming up after the next two speakers?
Veo que ha alzado la mano, entonces usted va a seguir después de los siguientes dos oradores.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Right now will be 015. I will be promoting you. Your speaker order number will be number 21. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Good evening. My name is Stephen Tarr and I live in Hanford. So my community of interest for the mapper would be Kings County, please. Again, good evening. Gerrymandering is the manipulation of the boundaries of an electoral body of voters so as to favor one party or class. For example, Michigan is profoundly gerrymandered. During the past decade, even though Democrats received more overall votes, Republicans actually won more seats in their House and Senate elections, winning over 2/3 of those state races with fewer votes. The GOP would typically win their races by tighter margins, while Democrats captured safe seats by wide margins. The result was that virtually all of the Democratic wins were limited to Detroit. It's as though Republican Party bosses would just concede Detroit to Democrats in order to achieve better odds outside of Detroit. This is where, instead of the voters picking the candidates, in this case, GOP party bosses, pick the voters. It's brilliant. Evil, but brilliant. So here in our racially diverse Kings County, we currently remain intact because of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, wherein Section 5 required pre-clearance authority from the US DOJ. This authority protected voters' voices from being diluted or concentrated by the effects of gerrymandering. Indeed, over the years, since pre-clearance, state and congressional districts have been well drawn and quite competitive, actually, as a result. Those rules help to keep our elected officials more accountable to all constituents. Without those VRA rules, Kings County residents must now fend for ourselves to ensure communities are not splintered up into small bits and absorbed by bigger bits, causing us to become diluted into a voiceless community. An attempt for another county to absorb specific parts of Kings, as an example, would certainly diminish Kings' voices. This is why we're here with you today. We're now vulnerable to myriad efforts taking place nationwide, designed specifically to make sure that brown and black people won't vote, or make it very difficult to vote, discouraging them from doing so. It must be our mission to make sure we remain protected as a community and to not split us apart for others' political gains, much the way the state of Michigan struggles. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will have a 018. I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number is number 22, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Good evening. I'm before you this evening to discuss District 23 in Kern County. I'm Dr. Sean Hancock. I'm president of Saracoso Community College located in Ridgecrest, adjacent to the China Lake Naval Air Weapons Station. I'm also part of the Better Bakersfield and Boundless Kern Aerospace Cluster Work Group. And I also serve on the board for the China Lake Alliance. Saracoso Community College is part of the Kern Community College District, which also includes Bakersfield College and Porterville College, currently all part of the existing 23rd Congressional District. All three of our colleges serve many of the rural communities located throughout our service areas and that represent a community of interest. East Kern should not be carved out of the 23rd District given the commonalities between our communities and the interdependence countywide. This is both an economic interdependency and for East Kern one of necessity with regard to public safety, as was demonstrated during the 2019 earthquakes. If we were to be absorbed into other surrounding districts, we would most certainly lose our voice. Kern County as a whole has very little in common with some of the other adjacent districts, such as LA and San Bernardino, which have larger urban centers. Representatives serving those areas are likely to be disconnected at best from the needs of our area, and at worst would be inclined to support competing interests. We also work closely with the China Lake and Edwards Air Force Base and are a significant part of countywide efforts to support and grow the aerospace technology sector. Saracoso Community College is satisfied with the current district lines drawn in 2010 by the Citizens Redistricting Commission at that time. We are interested in remaining districted with our sister colleges who share our mission and values and who recognize the needs of our smaller, more rural communities. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now, Margarita, if you will please interpret for me. 013. I will be promoting you now.
013. 013, ya lo voy a promover.
013.
013.
Your speaker order number.
Su número de orden.
23.
Go ahead.
Is 23.
013 es 13, ¿no?
If you'll let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
El número 013, su número de orden es el 23. Si puede tomar nota de eso para su referencia en el futuro y si le puede informar al cartógrafo de cuál área gusta hablar, por favor.
Claro que sí. Mi nombre es Felipe Pérez. Vivo en Faribault, California, en el condado de Fresno, situado a 30 millas al oeste del Freeway 99 y al este de la Interestatal 5. Nuestra comunidad es una pequeña ciudad con
Señor,
casi 10,000.
Perdón, ¿me permite un momento para poder interpretar?
Claro que sí.
Ok, y ¿me puede repetir su apellido y la ciudad?
Pérez.
Pérez?
La ciudad Fireball,
Fireball.
California.
Hello, my name is Felipe Perez, and I'm from Fireball, California, located in Fresno, which is 30 miles east of the 99, west of the 99 and east of the 5. Adelante, señor.
Esta pequeña comunidad siempre ha tenido gobierno, como quien dice, concejales, 5 concejales y un administrador. ¿Quiere que siga?
Sí.
Me gustaría que siguiera las mismas boundaries, como le dicen ustedes, o líneas, porque se nos hace, para mí es mucho mejor que nos gobierne gente local a que nos gobierne gente de otros lugares que no conocen nuestras necesidades, no conocen nada absolutamente de nuestra comunidad. Probablemente vengan y se den una vuelta.
Un momento,
Claro que sí.
We are a small community that is governed by 5 council members and one administrator. And what I would like is for our community boundaries, as they are called, to be kept the same, because it would be better to be governed by people who are local rather than having people from other areas who are not familiar with our areas, who might just pass by once to the area. Adelante.
Creo que esta nación está construida por puros inmigrantes. Yo soy uno de ellos. Y los nacidos aquí, sus abuelos y bisabuelos y todo eran inmigrantes. Más allá de republicanos, demócratas, tienen que ver que tenemos los mismos derechos como seres humanos. Somos inmigrantes, estamos un tiempo aquí en la tierra y nos movemos hacia donde tenemos que movernos, pero eso no quita, eso debería de darles a ellos esa reflexión de que todo mundo merece respeto y merece ser escuchado.
Un momento. I believe that this nation was created by immigrants. Those grandparents and great-grandparents that were born here were immigrants. And beyond being Republican and beyond being a Democrat, we all deserve to have rights. All immigrants deserve to have rights as well. And we are here in this earth for a limited amount of time, and we should reflect on how all people need to be respected and need to be listened and heard.
A muchos de nuestros políticos, aunque sean estos hijos o nietos de inmigrantes, se les olvida quién los puso en esas sillas, y después de que los ponen en esa silla, ellos ni siquiera contestan llamadas, ni siquiera hacen nada por nuestra comunidad. Hacen lo que pueden. Con una de que sí estoy bien contento es con la senadora Caballero, porque ella sí siempre ha estado aquí con nosotros en las áreas rurales. Ana Caballero y el representante Arámbula son los únicos 2 que han dado la cara y que se han juntado con nosotros. Los otros no, mandan emails y todo, pero nunca se presentan ante nosotros. Más esos 2 personalmente han venido a buscarnos y nos han ayudado. Es por eso que me encantaría que siguieran las mismas líneas del condado y que nos dejaran seguir haciendo nuestras decisiones y no dársela a un pequeño puñado de otras personas que no nos conocen.
There are many politicians who are children or grandchildren of the immigrants, and many times they forget who put them in their seats or who elected them. And, there are people that I am happy with that represent us, like Senator Ana Caballero and also the Representative Arambula. I think they do show their face and they come to us as well. And they have been helping us. And what I would like is for the lines to be kept the same, the geographic lines, so that we can be allowed to make decisions for ourselves for the support that we need.
Muchísimas gracias por esta oportunidad. Creo que es abierta para todo mundo. Hablo los dos idiomas, pero quería darme a entender más en mi español porque soy un poco más abierto.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I think this is something that is open to everyone. And I do speak both languages, but I wanted to speak in Spanish, but because I feel more open in that sense.
Gracias y que tengan muy buenas tardes.
Thank you and have a great evening.
Thank you so much. I would like to invite those that have called in to please press star 9 on their telephone keypad to raise your hand indicating you wish to comment. Again, please press star 9 for those that have called in during this session. Right now we will have caller 8753. For those in the queue, if you wish to raise your hand, please press star 9 on your telephone keypad. Caller 8753, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. And up next will be caller 5701. Caller 8753, your speaker order number will be number 24, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Sonia Barbanel, and I'm a resident of Fresno in the Craycroft Village, which is northwest between Bullard and Herndon and Palm and Fruit. I want to thank you for this opportunity to join this call in order to give my perspective on the community and what it makes it, one of the things that makes it special to me and worthy of continuing to be its own district. Our community of Northwest Fresno and Clovis have traditionally been a part of the same legislature and congressional districts, public safety protection, and other amenities that do not exist in other parts of Fresno or other cities throughout the county. I have lived and worked in Northwest Fresno for 52 years. Being a young 80-year-old, it has been a great place to raise my family. In order to achieve integration and diversity and do so in a voluntary mechanism, Fresno developed the magnet school system. I was able to drive my children across town to get the kind of education and experiences that I wanted for them. My house of worship is just 1 block away from where I live. My community has been protected and represented by people who share my values, and I would like to keep it that way.
Thank you so much. Right now we have caller 5701, and up next will be caller 0210. Caller 5701, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 5701, your speaker order number will be number 25, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Sure. Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Nathan Alonzo. I am a resident of Central Fresno. I live on Gettysburg in between Cedar and Maple. I am calling to give my perspective and share some thoughts about the community that I live in and that my family calls home. We are best represented, and we have always been best represented by Central and Southern Fresno. We feel that based off of our transportation corridors, our shopping places, the cultural arts community, the educational opportunities, the diversity, and a myriad of the other things that make our part of the city of Fresno special, that we should be not only considered as our own community of interest, but continue to be represented as a community by the members of the legislature that have represented us previously. When I refer to Central Fresno, I refer to it from about Bullard Avenue on down through the end of the city. and we would like to continue to be put together as Central and South Fresno and be part of those same legislative and congressional districts. So that is my perspective, and I appreciate your time.
Hi there, caller. Could you please hold a moment?
Absolutely.
Great. Could we get a bit more detail about whether Central Fresno and South Fresno are included in your community of interest?
Yes. So the community of interest, as I would define Central and South Fresno, would be from Bullard Avenue, which is pretty much where Central Fresno starts on down.
And where is Central Fresno and South Fresno in relation to each other? Our mappers are trying to make sure that they're specific.
They touch each other. So I would say that Central Fresno is from Bullard to about Shields Avenue, from side to side in the city of Fresno. And then South Fresno would probably be defined from Shields Avenue all the way down to where it becomes unincorporated Fresno County.
Great. Thank you so much.
That is what I refer to. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have caller 0210. And I would like to invite those that have called in to please press star 9 on their telephone keypad to raise their hand indicating they wish to comment at this time. Again, star 9 on your telephone keypad, which will raise your hand indicating you wish to comment. I see those hands. Caller 0210 will be right now, and up next will be caller 0311. Caller 0210, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute by pressing star 6. Caller 0210, your speaker order number will be number 26. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Good evening. My name is Jolene Daly, and I'm calling in regards to District 10, which primarily at this point encompasses Stanislaus County and some outlining cities such as Manteca, Tracy, and Escalon. I wanted to call and communicate in regards to the fact that Stanislaus County is an agricultural community. I've been in the area my entire life, and we are proud of that fact and want to remain with other rural communities because that's the culture that we kind of identify with and understand, which means that we would much rather be aligned with individual places like Linden, Lockford, Farmington, maybe up to Lodi, rather than going more west into the Tracy area. And that's all I have to say for this evening.
Thank you so much. Right now we have caller 0311, and up next will be caller 2734. And for those of you that have just called in, please press star 9 if you wish to raise your hand. Caller 0311, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. 0311, your speaker order number will be number 27. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Michael Wood. I would like to speak about the 10th Congressional District. I live here in Stanislaus County, Modesto. I've lived here all my life. I would encourage the commission or the redistricting committee to align us more with Lodi down in Lockford, and as we have more in common as a farming community. As Tracy is more of a community of commuters that live within that commute to the Bay Area. So I would encourage them to also keep Oakdale within the 10th Congressional District, as many travel to Oakdale quite a bit. We shop there, we attend events there. So, and that's all I had to say.
Thank you so much. Right now, we have caller 2734, and up next will be caller 4789. Caller 2734, if you'll please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 2734, your speaker order number will be number 28. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'd like to discuss Kern County in Bakersfield. I'm calling in today to advocate for equitable maps and equitable boundaries. I live on the east side of Bakersfield that is vastly different from West Bakersfield. Residents in East Bakersfield have had to consistently fight with city governments for sidewalks, sewers, a pool, funds for skate parks, and recreational activities and facilities. These are basic infrastructure improvements that members of the same district never have to worry about. Now, these communities should not be in the same district. East Bakersfield is largely Latino with an agriculturally based economy, while West Bakersfield has more white, affluent neighborhoods. I want to also recognize Arvin, Lamont, and Weedpatch together as a community of interest, and one that's actually currently being exploited by West Bakersfield. Right now, district lines lump vastly different types of people with vastly different cultural backgrounds, working in different industries, speaking different languages, all while dividing communities with exact, if not very common interests who work in similar industries and speak the same language. Our communities are currently represented by elected officials who have no connection to us and in fact go to lengths to avoid responsibility and accountability. And this lack of representation translates into a lack of resources and has been a matter of life and death during a pandemic, and historically has led to higher rates of cancer and lower life expectancies. Now, Kern County has a rich history of redlining and racially restrictive covenants in the 1930s, which are not only about discrimination against Blacks and people of color, it's also about enriching white people, their families, their ability to create generational wealth. Now, the fact that this was legally sanctioned and encouraged best practices enabled the levels of inequality we see in our neighborhoods, schools, and district lines today. Our neighborhood, city of Taft, in fact, was even a sundown town. So the settling of Kern County in the last quarter of the 19th century from largely southern and border states attempting to pick up and restart their agricultural economy brought with them, not all of them, but many of them brought a culture of white supremacy. Now, because of this history, residents throughout the Central Valley have elected representatives that do not feel responsible for their needs. And furthermore, many of these counties have been in violation of the Voting Rights Act for years. Now, I'm really glad that this commission will be considering the ranking criteria of the Fair Match Act of 2019 and for their willingness to undo the dilution of the voting power of underrepresented rural valley floor communities. This commission has the power to unrig our democracy and to undo the severing of the connection between the ballot box and the people's will. We've had enough, and we demand fair and equitable district lines. We demand people-powered maps and are looking forward to seeing and reviewing this commission's equitable maps and boundaries. Thank you.
Time.
Caller, if we could, we have a couple of questions for the previous caller.
Yes, Chair.
Caller 2734, the chair had some questions for you, please.
Great,
Yeah,
thank you.
Absolutely.
Where do you consider the divide between East Bakersfield and the rest of Bakersfield? Do you have a boundary?
I knew that question. I don't have boundaries, but I will be happy to submit a map using your online tool.
Great, that would be incredibly helpful.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Thanks so much.
At this time, we will have caller 4789, and up next will be caller 8700. And I would like to invite those that have called in to please press star 9 on their telephone keypad, indicating they wish to give comment. But right now, caller 4789, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 4789, your speaker order number is number 29. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
I'd like to discuss San Joaquin County. I live in Linden, and San Joaquin County is divided up into 3 districts. When you divide a pie up into 3 districts, it dilutes it. It dilutes the power that they have as a voice. We would like to be considered as one community with other communities in San Joaquin County: Rockford, Plymouth, Stockton, Lodi, Ripon, Manteca, Escalon. We commute to those areas, we shop in those areas, our children play sports and have friends in those areas. When it's divided into 3 different districts, we don't have a voice. We get ignored by 3 different districts because we're so small. That's the end of my discussion.
Thank you so much. Right now, we caller 8700. I would like to remind those calling in to please press star 9 to raise your hand, indicating you wish to comment. Please press star 9 to raise your hand, indicating you wish to comment. Caller 8700. If you'll please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 8700, your speaker order number will be number 30. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours. Hello, can you hear me?
I would like to. Hello?
Yes, go ahead. The floor is yours.
My name is Joyce Francis, and I live in Stanislaus County, just north of Modesto city limits. Do you have feedback? I'm hearing feedback on my part.
You sound fine. You may want to mute your live stream audio.
Thank you, Commissioner, for hearing me. And I would like to discuss the area of Stanislaus County and San Joaquin County. I would like to consider that Tracy be taken out of our area, and we have all of Stanislaus County and eastern and southern San Joaquin County, such as Manteca, Ripon, Farmington, Linden. We do share cultural and social values. We share the Gallo Art Center, we share bus lines, we share shopping malls, and we are more in tune with each other than the Tracy and Mountain House area. Thank you for hearing me. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have caller 9843. And I'd like to ask those calling in, if they would like to give comment, to please press star 9 on their telephone keypad. This will raise your hand indicating you wish to give comment. Please press star 9 on your telephone keypad. Right now we have caller 9843. If you'll please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 9843, your speaker order number will be number 31. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
I would like to begin in Kern County, but I will also discuss Kings, Tulare, and Fresno as well.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
I live in West Bakersfield, and I would like the commission to recognize my community of interest, which consists of the south boundary of Panama Lane, a western boundary of Highway 43, a north boundary of 7th Standard Road, and an eastern boundary of Highway 99. As has been indicated by previous speakers, there is absolutely a divide between East and West Bakersfield, and that dividing line is Highway 99. I actually drive across town to take my kids to school, and progressively we see fewer and fewer trees, more and more potholes, fewer and fewer sidewalks, more and more degradation and neglect. In particular, my community of interest that I just defined has a lot in common with the Kern River Corridor and the Rosedale Census Designated Place, and has a lot in common also with adjacent areas that I would also like the Commission to recognize as communities of interest, namely the Choctaw Census Designated Place, the La Cresta Census Designated Place, Oildale Census Designated Place, and Highway 178 leading on up to Tehachapi and the Ridgecrest area. I would also like the Commission to recognize that we have a lot in common with the western areas heading out towards the coast along Highway 46. A lot of people in my community of interest have second homes in San Luis Obispo and Pismo Beach. And many, many, many people that I went to high school with went to school at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. We have a lot in common with those areas. And we also have a lot in common with some of the burgeoning areas to the south. I used to live kind of near Pumpkin Center, which is on Taft Highway. There was a ride share that I would pass every day for folks who were commuting into Los Angeles. And in particular, I believe we have a lot in common with Stevenson Ranch, Castaic, Valencia, and Newhall. It's only getting more in common with those folks as people are engaging in remote work. I also would like the Commission to recognize the community of interest of the mountain communities, Fraser Park, Lebec, Fort Tejon, Lake Isabella, Havilah, Bodfish, and Kernville. And finally, I would like the Commission to recognize a community of interest from North Hanford, Lemoore, heading eastward toward the area north of Tulare and south of Visalia. Specifically, Highway 198 would be that northern boundary, and Cart Mill Road would be the southern boundary. Highway 99 would be the western boundary, and Mooney Boulevard would be the boundary to the east, because I believe those communities have a lot in common with rivers and the Sequoia National Forest. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you so much. At this time, I'd like to invite those in the queue to please press star 9 if they wish to give comment. Please press star 9 on your telephone keypad to raise your hand, indicating you wish to give comment at this time. Chair, I will defer to you. I do not have any raised hands.
Great. If perhaps we could read the full call-in instructions, and we'll stand at ease for a couple of minutes.
Oh, we do have one raised hand. Would you like to do the full call instructions before or after? After.
But let's do it before.
Before? Okay, no problem.
Yes.
All right. The Commission will now be taking public input by phone. To call in, dial the telephone number provided on the live stream feed. It is 877-853-5247. When prompted to enter the meeting ID number provided on the live stream feed, it is 838-0213-9425 for this meeting. When prompted to enter a participant ID, simply press the pound key. Once you have dialed in, you will be placed in a queue. To indicate you wish to comment, please press star 9. This will raise your hand for the moderator. When it is your turn to speak, you will hear a message that says the host would like you to talk and to press star 6 to speak. If you would like to give your name, please state and spell it for the record. You are not required to provide your name to give public comment. Please make sure to mute your computer or live stream audio to prevent any feedback or distortion during your call. Once you are waiting in the queue, be alert for when it is your turn to speak, and again, please turn down the live stream volume. And we do have caller 3126 and caller 7268. You will be next. Caller 3126, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 3126. Your speaker order number will be number 32. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Veronica Vasquez. I serve as Mayor Pro Tem of Delano in Kern County. We are a majority Latino town with a large Filipino community and deep farm worker roots. We are historic site of the United Farm Workers 40 Acres, where Cesar Chavez, Dolores Huerta, and Larry Itzron and many others started the farm worker movement. I am also a proud SEIU member and leader in Kern County, organizing working people in Bakersfield and rural Kern. This commission is tasked with drawing state and federal districts, but when creating those districts in Kern County, I please urge you to look at the district lines of Kern County Board of Supervisors, District 4 and 5. These districts were created by a lengthy and successful lawsuit where Malda sued and settled with Kern County to create 2 Latino majority supervisor seats based on Section 2 of the Federal Voting Rights Act. It's very important to keep Delano, McFarland, Wasco, Shafter, Arvin, Lamont, and East Bakersfield together. The reason being is together these are long-lasting Latino majority communities of interest. These communities all face the same challenges, and we will be stronger together when advocating for resources and change. What we currently face is need for more affordable housing. We have a lack of green space. We need more educational opportunity for youth, water, and then we have water and air quality issues and old infrastructure. So I really urge you to keep these communities together and the districts together so that we have a voice when it comes down for a strong representation in Sacramento and DC. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have caller 7268. I'd like to invite those that have called in to please press star 9 on their telephone keypad to raise your hand indicating you wish to comment. But at this time, we do have a raised hand with caller 7268. If you'll please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 7268, your speaker order number will be 33. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
My name is Angel, and I live in Tulare City and in Tulare County. I am calling because we are pretty much done with the exploitation. We are done with the gerrymandering and dividing Tulare into many different districts. And furthermore, when it comes to State Senate 16, Assembly District 26, and most importantly, Congress District 22, they don't represent the values of the community. They don't represent the values of us, the people. Now that you're doing the redistricting process, we need to ensure that we get fair maps. We need to ensure that we get the redistricting process that's correct, and most importantly, that we get equitable maps. We also want maps of opportunity. Let's remember that the redistricting process needs to start in the Central Valley, in the floor of the Central Valley, and not in LA, where the community of interest is being outsourced by lobbyists and money and dark money and all of that, right? Let's ensure that our voices are heard here in the Central Valley, and let's ensure that everything that goes on in the Central Valley, our voices are being heard. Places like Tulare, Lindsay, Woodlake, Visalia, Oval, Early Mart, Pixley are communities of interest, and they need to stay together. Those areas are the areas where I live, where my friends live, and where we work. We need to ensure that we stay together. We have water problems, we have education problems, and yes, we have air problems. Furthermore, we were able to see that with the pandemic and COVID, we need hospitals now more than ever. We need to ensure that our people are well taken care of, and we need to ensure that we have places where people can get vaccinated. I urge all of the people that are working with redistricting to hear our voice and to ensure that we get fair maps and we get the proper representation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We do invite those that have called in to please press star 9 on your telephone keypad indicating you wish to give comment at this time. Again, for those that have just called in, please press star 9 on your telephone keypad. This will raise your hand, indicating you wish to give comment. Caller 5255. Please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 5255. Your speaker order number will be number 34, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Can you hear me?
We sure can. Go ahead.
Thank you. I just was listening, for a few hours of the comments, but there's some valid comments and statements were made for San Joaquin County and Stanislaus. I agree with a lot of the callers that came in for District 10. Stanislaus is grown so much, and so is San Joaquin County, that it's time to redistrict. I know it's been almost 10 years. For the quality of life of both counties, District 10 should remain Stanislaus. And the only difference is that Manteca, Mountain Health, and Tracy should stay separate from District 10 because Manteca is part of San Joaquin County. And all three cities are growing, and it is different than Stanislaus, and we're not getting the attention that we need as previous years because we are growing. So please consider that when you do the lines. Keep District 10 in the Stanislaus County and Manteca, Tracy, and Mountain House separate. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I would like to invite those that have called in to please press star 9 on their telephone keypad, indicating they wish to give comment. As for those that have just called in, please press star 9 on their telephone keypad, indicating they wish to give comment. Caller 3913. If you'll please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 3913, your speaker order number will be number 35. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours. Hello?
Very good.
Go ahead.
Hello. Yes, my name is Pat Patrick. I run the Lodi Chamber of Commerce up here in Lodi, California, in San Joaquin County. And that is the area that I would like to speak to. Currently, we are in Assembly District 9, and we are an appendage of a South Sacramento Elk Grove district. And so we make up about 13% of that district, and we just would like to have a stronger voice in the Assembly and also the congressional district that serves San Joaquin County, because we share that with the East Bay. San Joaquin County is now over 800,000 in population and growing, like many other counties in the great Central Valley. But we are agricultural based. Our county is the number one industry is agriculture. In Lodi, the number one industry is agriculture, and throughout our county. We line up more closely with District 10, as has been stated before this evening, from Stanislaus County, and that would make sense for us to be joined with them. But with 3 different assembly districts carving up San Joaquin County, we are really split. And so we really need to be more unified. And so I would ask of the Redistricting Commission to consider San Joaquin County as a strong district at the tip of the northern San Joaquin Valley. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'd like to invite those that have called in to please press star 9 to raise your hand indicating you wish to comment. For those that have just called in, please press star 9 to raise your hand indicating you wish to give comment at this time. And Chair, we do not have any... Oh, I speak too soon every time I say that. Caller 8539, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 8539, your speaker order number will be number 36. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
I like the district lines to stay the way they're drawn.
Were you, caller, do you have a specific district that you are looking at?
Just Fresno in general.
So the district lines in Fresno, you would like to stay the same?
Yeah, and in Clovis as well. So they're side by side, so I think that'd be efficient.
Great. Thank you for your comments.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I would like to invite those that have called in to please press star 9 on their telephone keypad. If I could please ask Margarita and Navid or Rama, we'll start with Spanish. If you could please interpret pressing star 9 to raise your hand.
Y por favor pueden presionar el asterisco y el número 9 para alzar la mano.
Thank you, Margarita. And Rama or Navid, are you available to interpret to please press star 9 on your telephone keypad to raise your hand if you wish to give comment at this time? And again, for those in the queue in English, please press star 9 on your telephone keypad. Rama or Navid, are you available? And for those that have just called in, if you would please press star 9 to raise your hand indicating you wish to give comment. I will work on getting that translated into Punjabi.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, could you please interpret to please press star 9 on your telephone keypad to raise your hand?
ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਸਟਾਰ 9 ਨੂੰ ਦਬੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਟ ਕੀਪੈਡ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ.
Thank you so much, sir.
You are very welcome.
And again, anyone wishes to give comment, please press star 9. And Chair, at this time, we do not have any raised hands, and we have done it in all languages.
Great. Maybe we could, let's see, we're heading up. No, well, maybe we could stand at ease for 2 minutes. If we still have no callers, then we'll go to a 5-minute video break.
All right.
That's 2 minutes, Chair.
Great, let's go to the 5-minute video break. Great, welcome back, everybody. Before we get back to public comment, I first wanted to make a couple of announcements regarding our upcoming schedule. So our schedule continues with 3 upcoming COI public input meetings. The first meeting is on Monday, August 9th, focused on Butte, Colusa, Glenn, Lawson, Modoc, Plumas, Shasta, Siskiyou, and Tehama counties and their surrounding areas. The August 9th meeting will have a Spanish listening line and available interpretation. Our second COI meeting is on Thursday, August 12th, focused on Los Angeles County and its surrounding areas, and will have Spanish, Armenian, Farsi, and Khmer listening session. Listening on Friday, August 13th, our COI meeting will focus on Imperial and San Diego counties and their surrounding areas, and will have a Spanish, Tagalog, and Arabic listening lines. Registration for each COI meeting closes 2 calendar days before at 5 p.m. Our next business meeting is this coming Tuesday, the 10th, at 9:30 a.m. You are not required to make an appointment to provide input at the COI meeting. However, it is recommended. You can also call in the day of the meeting. At this time, our meetings are still held virtually, so anyone in California can provide input. Please go to our website at wedrawthelinesca.org for meeting information. Okay, and with that, I will turn it back to Katie to see if we have any callers.
We do, Chair. Right now we have caller 4133, and up next we will have caller 4000. I would like to invite those that have called in to please press *9 on their telephone keypad. Caller 4133, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time.
Hello.
Caller 4133, you are unmuted. Your speaker order number will be number 37, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you. My name is Nancy, and I'm interested in CD10. And my comments are that I would like to see Stanislaus County remain intact and go through the Escalon to the right side of Highway 99 up to Lodi. I feel that the agricultural and water needs, political needs, everything are more in common with Stanislaus County. And by removing Tracy, Lathrop, Manteca, it keeps it more in line with the agricultural water needs of the local area. As far as Tracy is more intact and is the hub coming down from the Bay Area, and would be more intact with the CD9 when it has the parts of Contra Costa County and the other parts of the Bay Area already in that district.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right now we will have caller 4000, and up next will be caller 6187. Caller 4000, please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 4000, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute by pressing *6. Margarita. Could you please ask if they could press *6 to unmute themselves?
Para la llamada 4000, por favor, presione el asterisco y el número 6 para activar el micrófono, por favor. De nuevo sería la estrellita o el asterisco y el número 6 para activar el micrófono.
Gracias. And Rama or Navid?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you please ask the caller if they would like to press *6 to unmute themselves
I
in
did
case
it,
they
ma'am.
speak your language? You did?
I did it, ma'am.
Oh, thank you so much.
No problem, ma'am. Let me do that again. ਹਾਂਜੀ *6 ਦਬੋ ਜੀ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ
Thank you.
I think you can hear me now.
Oh, yes, we can hear you now. Lovely. Your speaker order number is number 38. One moment. Your speaker order number is number 38. If you'll please
ਜਿਹੜਾ
make
ਤੁਹਾਡਾ
note
ਸਪੀਕਰ ਨੰਬਰ 38 ਹੈਗਾ ਜੀ
if you'll please make
Okay,
note
I've
of
got
that. And then if you'll let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Okay, I would like to, I'm in District 22 in Central California, Fresno County, and I would like to discuss the North Fresno portion of that community that includes north of Bullard and also the city of Clovis. And my name is Debbie Hunsaker, and I'm a longtime resident of North Fresno and have also resided in Clovis. And then I was also born and raised in Fresno, so I've been a part of this community my entire life, as well as we have our business here, which is celebrating 50 years next Friday. So I wanted to join the call to give my perspective on the community my family and I live in and what makes it so special and worthy of continuing to be its own district. The communities in North Fresno, usually defined, as I stated, north of Bullard and Clovis, we share sports leagues, proximity to shopping, transportation corridors, service clubs, places of worship. We're all like a family. And as a community, we also share certain water districts and public safety protection and other amenities that don't exist in other parts of the city or the other surrounding communities. Our community of North Fresno and Clovis have traditionally been a part of the same legislative and congressional districts because of the similarity and unique features that differentiate us from other parts of the more urban areas, such as Central and Southern Fresno, or the ag-based smaller communities in rural Fresno County. North Fresno and Clovis continue to grow in population, and it's the unique features that have made our district in the past. Our representatives in this commission have traditionally respected and taken into consideration the characteristics that make up our community, and I continue to ask for that same position moving forward. North Fresno and Clovis are best represented as a district in our legislature and in the Congress, the same way that Central and South Fresno are, and the outlying cities in our county are best represented in their own district. My family and I love North Fresno and the surrounding Clovis area, and know personally why keeping this area together is important to retain that unique neighborhood just as they do other parts of Central California. And I respectfully ask that you continue to have North Fresno, which is north of Bullard, and the entire city of Clovis in the same assembly state and congressional seats. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have caller 6187, and up next will be caller 6180. Caller 6187, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute by pressing *6. Again, caller. Oh, There you are. Caller 6187, you are unmuted. Your speaker order number will be number 39, if you'll please make note of that. And then if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you. My name is Stuart Weil, and I'm born and raised in Fresno. I've lived here my whole life. I'll be 70 years old soon. And I want you to know that Fresno's been a great place to live. In the past, Fresno's been the butt of jokes from Hollywood. They used to always make fun of us, but Fresno is one of the biggest small cities we have in California. We have a population of over 500,000 people, but we're still considered a small town. And that has attracted many of the people who used to make jokes about us. They're moving to Fresno. Growing up, going through high school and then attending college, many people left Fresno and had careers in other parts of the country, and many of them came back, and they came back for a reason. Fresno is a great place to live, and we're finding a huge immigration of people coming out of San Francisco moving here, out of Los Angeles coming here. Other areas are coming here for a reason. It's very family friendly. And I think there's really two reasons why. And I think the first reason is we just have really good people in Fresno. The Fresno people make a great population, and neighbors look after neighbors. They care about each other, and that makes for a really strong community. And I think the other reason that it's so good is we have a continuity of leadership in our elected officials. We have congressional people that work well with our state legislative people. And I think that continuity of leadership helps keep Fresno the way it is. And I want to see it continue. I want to see the North Fresno area with Clovis continue to have the same representation, which we've had in the past and has worked so well. I would hate to see that change. So thank you for a chance to give input, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have caller 6108. If you'll please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 6108, you are unmuted. Your speaker order number will be number 40. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Luisa. I live in Tulare County, District 22. My fair interests are clean water, drinking water, fair education for kids with and without special needs, affordable housing for people, especially hospitals. I want to ensure that we have equality maps and that my community is fairly represented with my other communities of interest, like Delano and Erlimar, south of Fresno, Porlier, and Stenger, Good Lake, Lindsay, and Stratmore. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we can have caller 6120. If you will, please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 6120, your speaker order number will be number 41, if you'll please make note of that. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. My name is Cecilia Delgado. I live in Kern County. I am a resident of Bakersfield. My assembly district is number 32 with Rudy Salas, and my Senate district is number 14 with Melissa Hurtado. Our main shared interests are to fix the air quality of our area, as many children suffer from asthma and breathing problems. Another interest is to have a high school in the city of Lamont. Unfortunately, the city still has unpaved residential streets that I am sure our current people in office have not visited to even know about it. Policing is also a concern in my community because we don't see patrols in our area as often as we would like. Therefore, people tend to break the rules and make it a very unsafe community. I would like to have East Bakersfield Lamont, and Arvin to be kept together in the same district because we are mostly Latino, a Latino community with the majority of agricultural workers. I don't want to be paired in a district such as Rosedale, as that is considered a rich area of Bakersfield, and their interest will be different from ours. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Chair, we are at break.
Got it. Alrighty, we will return per our schedule at 7:30.
Well, welcome back to the California Citizens Redistricting Commission. I am Commissioner Trina Turner, co-chair for tonight's riveting session. And I want to welcome you all back. We're coming into the home stretch. So for anyone that's joined us recently, we have been and we will continue offering 2 language lines for Spanish and Punjabi language speakers to listen to the meeting in their native language, and a separate line for those who wish to provide public comment or public input. So could I please have each of our interpreters provide our call-in numbers? So starting with Spanish, Marguerite, would you please read the site translation of full call-in instructions?
I'm sorry, I was having a little bit of technical difficulty. Would you kindly repeat what area you would like me to do a site translation of?
I'd love for you, please, to read the full call-in instructions at this time.
Perfect. Okay. Para thank you. Los escuchantes hispanohablantes, por favor, marquen el 888-831-6084 e ingresen el número de identificación para la Junta, que es el 847-0665. De nuevo, el número es el 888-831-6084 y por favor ingresen el número de identificación que es el 847-0665 para los que están escuchando en español. Si usted gusta hablar, por favor no cuelgue, si no perderá su lugar en la fila. Si usted desea hablar o dar comentario público, el número de teléfono para llamar es el 877-853-5247. De nuevo, el número para dar sus comentarios públicos que debe de llamar es el 877-853-5247. Usted va a necesitar ingresar el número 838-0213-9425. Usted va a necesitar marcar este nuevo número para poder dar sus comentarios públicos. Si usted va a necesitar a un intérprete para poder dar sus comentarios, habrá un intérprete disponible para usted en ese número. Gracias.
Beautiful, Margarita. Thank you. And for Punjabi, would you please, Rama, read the site translation of the full call-in instructions at this time?
Yes, ma'am. ਸਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਸੁਣਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਬਰਾਏ ਮਿਹਰਬਾਨੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਟੈਲੀਫੋਨ ਕਰਨ 8883239693 ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਕੋਡ ਐਂਟਰ ਕਰਨ 8248860। ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਸੁਣਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਬਰਾਏ ਮਿਹਰਬਾਨੀ ਟੈਲੀਫੋਨ ਕਰੋ ਸਾਨੂੰ 8883239693 ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਕੋਡ ਐਂਟਰ ਕਰੋ 8248860। ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਾਲ ਕਰਕੇ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਬਰਾਏ ਮਿਹਰਬਾਨੀ ਟੈਲੀਫੋਨ ਲਾਈਨ ਨੂੰ ਬੰਦ ਨਾ ਕਰਨਾ, ਹੈਂਗ ਅਪ ਨਾ ਕਰਨਾ। ਤੇ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਦਾਂ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਸਥਾਨ ਲੂਜ਼ ਕਰ ਜਾਓਗੇ। ਅਗਰ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਟੈਲੀਫੋਨ ਕਾਲ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਦੇਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਇਨਪੁਟ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੇ ਨੰਬਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ 877-853-5247 ਹੈ। ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਫਿਰ ਦਾ ਨੰਬਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਕਮੈਂਟ ਦਾਖਲ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ 8778535247 ਹੈ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੋੜ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਇੱਕ ਕੋਡ ਐਂਟਰ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ, ਜਿਹੜਾ 8380213945। ਬਰਾਏ ਮਿਹਰਬਾਨੀ ਲਿਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ ਇਸ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਬਾਰੇ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਨੰਬਰ ਨੂੰ ਡਾਇਲ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਪਏਗੀ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਨੰਬਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜਿਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਇਨਪੁਟ ਦੱਸ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਇੰਟਰਪ੍ਰੀਟਰ ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਦੱਸਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਦੋਭਾਸ਼ੀਆ ਜਾਂ ਇੰਟਰਪ੍ਰੀਟਰ ਉਪਲਬਧ ਰਹੇਗਾ, ਮੌਜੂਦ ਰਹੇਗਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ ਭਾਸ਼ਾ 'ਚ ਦੱਸਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਕਾਲ-ਇਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ। ਬੜੀ ਮਿਹਰਬਾਨੀ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨਵਾਦ।
Beautiful, Rama. Thank you both to our interpreters. So this session is specifically dedicated to those that did not have an appointment. However,
ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੈਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਅਪਾਇੰਟਮੈਂਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀ ਹੈਗੀ,
however, if you had an appointment and were unable to call in during your time block, we encourage you to call in now. We'll continue to take public input at this time and also We'll continue to take public input at this time, and we also invite public comment. Now, the phone line for public input and public comment will close at 8 p.m. We will get to all the callers who were in the queue at that time, to include going beyond 8 p.m. if needed. So at this time, Katie, we're going to pass it back over to you, our comment moderator.
Thank you, Chair. The Commission will now be taking community of interest input and general public comment for items not on the agenda at this time. To call in, dial the telephone number provided on the live stream feed. It is 877-853-5247. When prompted to enter the meeting ID number provided on the live stream feed, it is 838-0213-9425 for this meeting. When prompted to enter a participant ID, simply press the pound key. Once you have dialed in, you will be placed in a queue. To indicate you wish to comment, please press *9. This will raise your hand for the moderator. When it is your turn to speak, you will hear a message that says the host would like you to talk and to press *6 to speak. If you would like to give your name, please state and spell it for the record. You are not required to provide your name to give public comment. Please make sure to mute your computer or live stream audio to prevent any feedback or distortion during your call. Once you are in the queue, be alert for when it is your turn to speak, and again, please turn down the live stream volume. Right now we have caller 6722, and up next we'll have caller 7139. Caller 6722, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 6722, you are unmuted. Your speaker order number will be number 42, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Virginia. I am calling to discuss Senate District 14, which is represented by Melissa Hurtado, and I believe it's AB 32 that is represented currently by Rudy Salas. I was born in East Bakersfield. I now live in Fresno, and I've worked with low-income communities since I was in university. I know the Valley very well as such, since being raised on the East Side and going up to Merced for university. I now currently work for an energy efficiency space across low-income South Valley communities that does focus throughout the Central Valley, ranging from South Fresno to East Bakersfield, specifically focusing on those low to moderate income communities. Although Bakersfield and Fresno are miles apart, they are strikingly similar. It makes sense to create some districts that connect them in some capacity because these communities are so similar. Fresno has a well-documented tale of two city stories, where north of Shaw Avenue is more affluent and connected to the city of Clovis. South Fresno has more in common with East Bakersfield than it does with Shaw Avenue. Shaw Avenue, south of Fresno, south of Shaw Avenue, has older neighborhoods and is heavily Latino and African American. South Fresno is more working class and faces issues like air pollution, older infrastructure, lack of park space, and disproportionately impacted by climate change. Bakersfield has big differences between West Side and East Side, very similar to Fresno. East Side Bakersfield past Highway 99 is heavily Latino and African American with older neighborhoods and much more working class. The neighborhoods also face issues around air quality, older infrastructure, lack of green space, and face environmental impacts. West Bakersfield has newer, more affluent neighborhoods with many less issues. I've seen this vividly in my work as we have focused on making sure low-income communities of color are able to achieve energy equity in the marketplace. We see a huge need for investment and resources in South Fresno, East Bakersfield, and in many smaller Latino majority rural communities in Fresno and Kern counties. The best way to lift up these communities is by giving them a voice and a chance to elect representatives that will go to bat for them and push for investment in these underserved communities. I hope the Commission will respect the vast Latino majority community of interest in the South Valley and take into strong consideration the similarities that tie South Fresno and East Bakersfield. In the South Valley, Latinos are the majority, and our districts should continue to reflect that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Right now we will have caller 7139, and then up next will be caller 2966. And I would like to invite those that have called in to please press star 9 on their telephone keypad. This will raise your hand, indicating you wish to give community of interest input or public comment at this time. Caller 7139, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 7139, your speaker order number will be number 43. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know of an area if you have one to discuss. The floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Zuniga, and I live in Stanislaus County, and I want to keep Stanislaus together in District 10. But I don't think we share the same interests with the city of Tracy. Tracy leans more towards the Bay Area with their values. I think we should remove Tracy and swap it with Eastern San Joaquin County with areas like Farmington and even up to Lodi. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have caller 2966. And once again, I'd like to invite those that have called in to please press star 9 to raise your hand, indicating you wish to comment. But right now, caller 2966, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 2966, your speaker order number will be number 44. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Oh, I would like to discuss the Clovis area.
Thank you. Go ahead,
And
please.
I would just like to say that Clovis has always been kept together, and that has allowed our community to thrive. Our schools have excelled. We have a quaint old town that attracts a lot of tourism, and I believe our city allows all people to thrive here. So I just ask that Clovis all be kept together, and I believe, I have gotten good representation in all the years I've been here. And that's it.
Thank you so much. Right now we have caller 7722, and then up next will be caller 2009. Caller 7722, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 7722, your speaker order number will be 45, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know of any area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours. Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, hi. This is Wendy Bosshart, and I'm from Turlock, California, and I'm calling in regards to redistricting. Stanislaus County should be kept together. I've heard that one or more proposals under consideration takes away Oakdale from the 10th Congressional District. I think it makes more sense for Tracy to be removed than Oakdale. Tracy is largely a Bay Area commuter city. Their local issues are not very similar, and their interests differ from those of Stanislaus County. Oakdale, on the other hand, shares significant common interests. Some of the interests Oakdale shares with Stanislaus County cities are the surrounding cities like largely Modesto, Turlock, and Ceres. They have community relations with Oakdale, both with residents and local government officials. Oakdale has the same nearby population center as Modesto. Oakdale and Modesto work and shop in each other's cities. Oakdale and Modesto share interest in connecting roads and other infrastructure. Oakdale has farming, just like Modesto, Turlock, and Ceres. Water is very important and critical issue that there is in this region surrounding water treatment. There's a water treatment plant under consideration 10 miles south of Oakdale. Oakdale gets power from Modesto Irrigation District. Oakdale uses the same library system, Office of Education, Sheriff, and many other county services. There's shared local banking, including Oak Valley Community Bank, founded in Oakdale, and Valley First Credit Union, branches serving cities throughout our area. I've heard that one proposal under consideration adds Lodi to our district, and I would not be opposed to Lodi joining because some common interests include water, farming, and wineries. So thank you for the time.
Thank you so much. Right now we have caller 2009. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 2009, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions. Your speaker order number will be number 46, if you will please make note of that. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hola, ¿tiene un intérprete?
Un momento, por favor. Margarita.
Sí, adelante, señora. Voy a interpretar de manera consecutiva, entonces sí puede hablar de 2 a 3 frases a la vez y luego le interpreto y luego puede seguir hablando de esa manera. ¿Sí le parece?
Perfecto, muchas gracias. ¿Ya puedo empezar?
Adelante.
Sí. Hola, mi nombre es Lupe Mejía. Yo vivo en el condado de Stanislaus y quiero decir que necesitamos mejor representación en el distrito Congreso número 10. Necesitamos separarnos de la bahía. La ciudad de Tracy ahora está más alienada con la bahía y no representa los intereses del valle. Sería
Un
mejor...
momento, señora. Perdón. ¿Me permite?
Sí, claro.
Hello, my name is Lupe Mejia, and I am from the Stanislaus County, and we need better and greater representation in Congress, specifically District number 10, and to be separated from the Bay Area. Tracy is more aligned actually with the Bay Area, and the interpreter will ask the speaker to continue. Por favor, siga.
Y no representa Tracy, y no representa los intereses del Valle. Sería mejor quitar a Tracy del distrito Congreso 10. Gracias.
So, and Tracy does not represent the interests of the Valley area. So it would be best to remove Tracy from the district, district number 10. Thank you.
Margarita, could you please let the speaker know that her speaker order number was 46?
Señora Mejía, le quería informar que su número de orden de oradora es el número 46. You said 46, right?
Yes.
Okay, el número 46.
Thank you so much. At this time, please press *9 for those in the queue if you wish to give comment. Please press *9 to raise your hand. And Chair, at this time, we do not have any raised hands. I will defer to you, seeing as the time of day as we are at.
Yep, so I just do want to give you a last reminder that at 7:55, we will be closing our lines and so that we can conclude at 8 p.m. So please get in the queue in this last 9 minutes so that we can listen to your input before adjourning for the day. Just a couple of reminders. We do want to remind you to visit our website at wedrawthelinesca.org. wedrawthelinesca.org. And of course, we still want you to sign up for our emails to learn more about the commission meetings, about updates and announcements. So please connect with us on social media. We're available on Facebook, Instagram. We're available on Twitter, LinkedIn, and we have amazing videos on YouTube at We Draw the Lines CA. So We Draw the Lines, that's California, We Draw the Lines CA. So there are numerous ways to participate, and we want to make sure that you continue to do so. We thank you for your time today. The COI, Community of Interest Public Input Meetings, they're taking place throughout the summer. Make sure that you're visiting our website for more information. We also want to encourage you to utilize the Communities of Interest mapping tool. And you can find that directly by going to drawmycacommunity.org. That tool, we've been proud to say, is available in multiple languages, in English, Spanish, simplified Chinese, and traditional Chinese, Vietnamese, Tagalog, Korean, Armenian, Farsi, Arabic, Russian, Japanese, Punjabi, Khmer, Hmong, and Dai. So there are tutorials also available in those same languages. So our website is rich. It's chock full of information, and we'd love to have you visit it and check out the information that is there. We also want you to still know that you can email us by going to votersfirstact@crc.ca.gov. And yes, we still take US mail. There, you're going to send it in to the California Redistricting Commission at 721 Capitol Mall, Suite 260, Sacramento, California, 95814. And as a reminder, if you need an interpreter to provide input on a day where there is no language line, please submit your request at least 5 business days prior to the meeting. You can submit your request via email to interpreter.request@crc.ca.gov on the Community of Interest, COI meeting appointment form. And you can call our office, 916-323-0323. Now, our lines are closing in just a few minutes. So again, if you're there, if you're listening, we'd love for you to identify yourself by raising your hand, because we do not want to miss your input or your public comment. Katie, do we have anyone?
Chair, at this time, we do not have any raised hands. I will ask those in the queue to please press *9 to raise your hand, indicating you wish to give comment in the end of our beautiful day today.
Katie, I'm going to read again about our upcoming meetings, but should we have someone that raised their hand, please to just interrupt me.
I will.
Our busy schedule continues with 3 upcoming Community of Interest public input meetings. The first meeting is going to be on Monday, August 9th, which will be focused on Butte, Colusa, Glen, Lassen, Modoc, Plumas, Shasta, Siskiyou, and Tehama.
Chair.
Is it Tehama?
Tehama, potato, I don't know.
Yeah. But we have a hand?
We do have a hand.
All right, we'll pick it up right there.
And that was not meant in any ill regard. Tehama, that was not meant in any ill regard.
We're going to get them however we pronounce it. They're going to be included. But yes, let's take that hand.
All right, caller 9683. If you'll please follow the prompts to unmute by pressing *6. Caller 9683. Your speaker order number will be number 47. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hi, yes, I'd like to discuss Kern County.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
And so I'd like to identify the rural communities of Kern County as communities of interest. I believe the towns of McFarland, Delano, Wasco, Shafter, Arvin, Lamont, and parts of East Bakersfield, which is east of the 99. I'd like to identify those as a group. We share similar environmental concerns, mainly our lack of clean air, exposure to pesticides, and questionable water quality. I'd also like to identify the mountain communities of Kern County, primarily Lake Isabella, Wofford Heights, Glenville, White River, Lebec, and Fraser Park. These communities should be separate to when it comes down to redistricting. They should be in their own districts, separate to the Valley Floor districts. The environmental and economic concerns are very distinct to the communities of the Valley. I'd like to identify them as a community of interest. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we have caller 3974. If you'll please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 3974, your speaker order number is number 48. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours. Yes, hello, can you hear me? Caller 3974, you are unmuted. Can you hear me? Caller with the last 4 digits, 39.
I can hear you.
Oh,
Can
perfect.
you hear me?
I can hear you now. Wonderful. Your speaker order number is 48, and the floor is yours.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's regarding the district lines, and I wanted to say that I don't want the district lines changed. I'm happy with the representation I have.
In which area, ma'am?
Do you need
Which
zip code
district
or address?
or what district, caller, would you like to remain the same?
I'm in the Clovis district, 93619.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And that was all of our raised hands at this time, Chair.
Well, okay. I will continue where we were before we adjourn our meeting, because I was announcing our next upcoming community of interest meetings, and we were talking about the meeting on August 9th that's focused on all of the amazing counties that we talked about: the Butte, Colusa, Glenn, Lassen, Modoc, Plumas, Shasta, Siskiyou, and Tehama counties and their surrounding areas. And wanting you to know that that August 9th meeting will have a Spanish listening line and available interpretation. Following that, the next community of interest meeting is going to be on Thursday, August 12th, which will be focused on Los Angeles County and its surrounding areas, and will have Spanish, Armenian, Farsi, and Khmer listening lines. Now, on Friday, August 13th, our community of interest meeting will focus on the Imperial and San Diego counties and their surrounding areas, and will have Spanish, Tagalog, and Arabic listening lines. So registration for each meeting closes 2 calendar days before at 5 p.m. And our next business meeting, for those that would like to tune in, is this coming Tuesday, the 10th at 9:30 a.m. Now, please note, callers at the community of interest meetings are not limited to the specifically mentioned counties. You can call in any time. We're accepting input. We want to hear from you. You can visit the meetings page at our website to see a list of additional upcoming communities of interest input meetings at www.wedrawthelinesca.org. So at this time, I'd like to thank you all for joining our community of interest input meeting today. I'd like to thank our interpreters. I'd like to always thank Katie and all of the behind the scenes support that we have just to be able to make these meetings run seamlessly. And of course, as always, we thank you, California, for calling in to give us the required information. So at this time, we're going to adjourn our meeting. Thank you.